Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Reborn Mantis, devouring flesh and blood to start infinite evolution. Chapter 21. Lu Qing was lying on the branch of a tree, swinging his knife foot back and forth. Pigs trotters destroy flowers. How cruel. It's so harsh on my eyes, I can't stand it. It's really eye-catching. He jumped off the branch, raised his sword and stabbed Brother Zhu into the back of the heart while he was going crazy. Brother Pig was not happy yet, so he hummed and received the lunch box. Pull the carcass of the saber-toothed pig apart. Kai, who had been seriously injured long ago, was already dying and unable to move after all this ordeal. Naturally, he could not pose a threat to Lu Qing. Lu Qing turned and left. Dazhuang, I leave it to you. Ah, don't you dare. Dazhuang waved his sword and said, No, I think it's dirty. Lu Qing glanced at it and said, You think I don't mind it? Stop inking. Kai was numb. No, I'm not dead yet, and you openly despise me. I have been tortured to this point, and you still want to intervene with words. I really want to bite my own neck off at this moment. It was hysterical. Can you let me, a dignified lord, die with some dignity? Dazhuang reluctantly walked over and said, You have been tortured into such a bare state, and you still have so little dignity. You, do it, you useless male trash. Dazhuang still stretched out his sword foot to completely free him. Thanks, you're welcome, Brother Pig has already leaked. Sao Ni, he died completely before he could finish his words. Dazhuang shook his head, Dear Lord, you want to eat grass and mud before you die. Hey. It looked up at Lu Qing. Boss, what's next? Should we turn against Tiangong and eat Kai and the saber-toothed pig? Lu Qing was not in the mood. If you can afford it, then you can do whatever you want. I can't keep my mouth shut. Dazhuang shook his wings. When are we going to Taoyuan? Tomorrow. Autumn is very dry. The red spring grass had dried out in just one day. It was difficult to carry it around. No clothes, no pockets, how to carry this thing? The strong sword-footed man scratched his wings. Boss, what should I do with this kind of grass? Lu Qing looked at the big, fat body. Boss, why do I feel like you're going to get into trouble again? You feel right. Lu Qing took an ancient leaf, put the grass in it and folded it. Then a tough vine was wrapped around the strong abdomen. Tying knots was a technical task for Mantis, but after several attempts, Lu Qing succeeded. Dazhuang bitterly complained. No, this thing makes me uncomfortable. Lu Qing snorted coldly. Why don't you feel uncomfortable while eating and drinking? I just asked you to do some work, right? Dazhuang immediately chuckled. Just saying, this vine is actually very light and can enhance defense. I like it very much. Stop talking nonsense and hurry up. After finishing speaking, Lu Qing spread his wings, flew straight into the air, and then glided down. According to the information received, Taoyuan is 50 miles away from the dense forest. But in fact, they set off in the morning and found the trace in the afternoon. I'm afraid it's more than 100 miles. Dazhuang waved his wings excitedly, then glided and communicated, Boss, do you see it? The Taoyuan is ahead. Of course Lu Qing saw it. He originally thought that Taoyuan was just a small area, but unexpectedly, everything in front of him and to the end was filled with pink. It is clearly a boundless land with peach blossoms blooming. According to the seasons of the previous world, peach blossoms usually bloom in spring. In this world, flowers are still blooming in autumn. Everything you see is peach blossoms, and the environment is naturally extremely beautiful. Just as Lu Qing was admiring it, he suddenly felt a powerful wave of air coming. Taking a closer look, he saw a huge boulder coming straight towards him from bottom to top. Lu Qing was surprised and quickly used his skills to move laterally for more than 10 meters. The boulder flew over with air waves. Lu Qing looked at the ground and heard a roar. This roar was like thunder on a sunny day, and it felt deafening even without ears. What surprised Lu Qing the most was that the source of the roar was actually dozens of miles away. Being able to throw a huge boulder over such a distance without losing its power, roaring for dozens of miles and still being so powerful, the strength is simply terrifying. Dazhuang was even more panicked. The stone flew past me and almost killed me. This roar sounds like a very powerful presence. Boss, let me see, this Taoyuan is full of dangers. Fat will not fall from the sky. Only when there is danger will there be opportunities. Go, whereabouts? One after another, they landed on the edge of the peach forest. The sounds of fighting and roaring were still clear. Several pink flesh bugs over 20 centimeters tall on the tree were so frightened by the thunder-like sound just now that they cowered and did not dare to move. Da Zhuang fished one out and clipped its head off. Dao Chong, this thing actually has the strength of the 3rd level, he said and put it in his mouth. While eating, I didn't forget to communicate and report. Well, it's so sweet. I didn't expect bugs to be so sweet. It's like eating peaches. Lu Qing looked at the surrounding environment. The flat land is full of peach trees, as if this place was specially planted. Have you ever eaten peaches? No, that's my guess. After all, this kind of peach bug eats fresh peaches all day long, so it must taste the same as peaches. Lu Qing was not interested in peach insects, so he pointed to a hill on the edge. There is a hill there. Let's dig a cave there and use it as a nest to settle down. Da Zhuang caught another peach insect and skillfully removed its head. It would be better to just sleep on the tree. Sleeping in a tree. You don't know how you died. Look at what's on the branch on your left. Da Zhuang turned his head to look and met the eyes of a pink venomous snake. 4th grade peach snake. Although the grade is a bit low, this thing is poisonous and no one can bear to be bitten. The hill is on the side of the peach forest, with a height of only tens of meters. It is steep enough and is a good place to dig a cave. After arriving close, Lu Qing was happy. There is a cave, which saves trouble. There are traces of animal activity around the cave, and it seems that some species lives in it. Lu Qing came to the entrance of the cave and quietly touched it in. A bug rushed out. The insect is about half a meter long, covered in black armor, but has very small mouthparts. The 2 large hind legs are strong and thick, and should have strong jumping ability. The eyes inside and outside the cave face each other. The next moment, the bug turned around and faced Lu Qing with its butt. Just when he was thinking about whether this bug had a special hobby, the guy's butt suddenly spurted out a ball of fire. The fire spurted out quickly, and Lu Qing's reaction was also very fast. He hurriedly used the skill, flying rapidly, and forcibly moved 5 meters. The heat wave flew past him and landed on the peach tree. There seemed to be a highly corrosive liquid in this flame, which burned many delicate peach blossoms into coke. Turning around to look, Chongzi shook his butt. Race: fire-breathing insect. Strength: low level 6. Fire-breathing bugs really breathe fire. Lu Qing showed off 2 big knives, preparing to cut off its buttocks to study its structure. The fire-breathing insect that missed the attack immediately ejected when it saw 2 large blades larger than itself. Its strong hind legs allow it to rush out of the hole very quickly. Lu Qing slashed out with his sword and struck hard on the back of the fire-breathing insect. This time, there was a metallic sound, and an obvious crack appeared on its back. The fire-breathing bug's defense is not bad. Although this blow did not kill it, the forward trajectory was also changed by the powerful force. The body rolled, broke the peach tree, and fell to the side. Lu Qing walked straight towards the opponent with a broadsword in hand. The fire-breathing insect had completely realized Lu Qing's power, and it quickly straightened up. The legs work again. Like a cannonball, it rose directly into the sky. Lu Qing used fast and furious flight, using his wings to catch up to his opponent. Just when he was about to catch up, this guy actually spurted a ball of fire from his butt again. The fireball was so powerful that Lu Qing could only dodge. After dodging, the fire-breathing bug became a little faster with the help of the fireball, and landed in the peach forest 10 miles away in the blink of an eye. Lu Qing stopped chasing and landed steadily in front of the cave. Da Zhuang, who was watching, immediately came over. This is the first time I've seen a fire-breathing bug. Lu Qing walked into the cave. This is my first time seeing one too. If we can catch it, maybe we can still have barbecue. What is barbecue? The meat tastes better after being grilled. Oh, Da Zhuang nodded repeatedly, feeling that he had learned some strange new knowledge. The cave is very wide and has traces of digging. The fire-breathing insect has no ability to dig stones, which also shows that the fire-breathing insect is not the real owner of this cave. The entire cave is a semi-ellipse, and the widest place can reach about 10 meters. There's even a stone bed in the corner. This surprised Lu Qing. Stone bed. The various animals in this world are very smart. but they are definitely not smart enough to create items. Even a very simple bed. Could it be that this place was once opened by a race with real intelligence? It's possible. Da Zhuang used the foot of his knife to cut the vines tied to his body, then turned and walked towards the peach forest. Boss, peach worms are very delicious. Would you like some together? The third-grade peach bug was of no use to Lu Qing, and he would not eat it just to satisfy his appetite. If you don't eat, it's of no use to me. There are so many peach bugs here that there is a nest on almost every tree. This peach tree seems to be ripe regardless of the season. Each branch grows in its own way, and the yield is amazing. Some are blooming, while others have ripe peaches. Lu Qing picked a big peach with great interest. This peach is about 10 centimeters in diameter and looks very beautiful. After peeling, the pulp is crystal clear, plump and juicy. It seems that the fruits in this world also have a beneficial effect, otherwise the peach bug that eats peaches every day will not be able to have the strength of the third grade. Da Zhuang was enjoying his meal, and Lu Qing also had the idea of upgrading his eating habits. He began to walk deeper into the peach forest, intending to see what was edible in the forest. Peaches are rich in energy, so even the vegetarian species here have strong strength. The third-grade peach worm is the weakest among them. Before Lu Qing walked a mile, he encountered a 1-meter-long iron-headed cricket. Species: iron-headed cricket. Strength: low-level 6th grade. Species are different. Lu Qing's 7th-grade cricket is only 1 meter long, but this 6th-grade iron-headed cricket is already 1 meter long. The iron-headed cricket has a square head, 2 long antennae on its head that keep shaking, and a wide and shiny mouthparts, and its bite force should not be underestimated. The 2 hind legs are about 1 meter long, surprisingly thick, and definitely have terrible explosive power. The most notable thing is the iron armor on the head. This iron armor is very strong, covering directly from the head to the upper body. The iron-headed cricket seems to have a very bad temper. As soon as he looked into Lu Qing's eyes, his anger level was maxed out. Die. The iron-headed cricket didn't even have a conversation. After cursing, his legs burst out with great power and he directly launched a catapult collision. Lu Qing had been attacked twice by this trick today. The difference is that the speed and power of the iron-headed cricket are even stronger, giving him a stronger sense of oppression. With this collision, the iron-headed cricket directly used his iron head as an offensive weapon. He was going all out. Is he relying on his head? Lu Qing didn't dodge, but waved his dark knife and chopped with one knife. The opponent's collision was very strong, but Lu Qing's chop was also heavy. The knife foot collided with the iron head, making a dull metallic sound. This powerful and heavy knife, coupled with the opponent's surging momentum, the two forces added up, but they didn't break the defense. It seems that the iron-headed cricket's head defense is very strong. But Lu Qing has a backhand. Real backhand. The benefits of the double knives are also revealed. When colliding with the opponent, the other blade foot stabbed the opponent's abdomen from bottom to top. The head has iron armor defense, and the blade foot cannot break through the defense, but its abdomen has no protection. The tip of the knife pierced directly, leaving a penetrating wound from top to bottom. The impact rebound force burst out, and they separated instantly. The iron-headed cricket fell to the ground, and did not even look at the huge wound on the abdomen, and rushed again. It is really fearless. I just looked at you in the peach blossoms, and you actually risked your life directly. Lu Qing waved his knife to resist again, and followed the same method, stabbing the hidden knife into the opponent's abdomen again. This time, the iron-headed cricket completely ignored the wound, opened his mouthparts, and bit Lu Qing's blade foot. The blade foot bit by the mouthparts squeaked, but there was no actual damage. However, the iron-headed cricket seemed to not care about any damage at all, just biting the solid blade foot, and pushing the two hind legs against the ground to try to knock Lu Qing down. In the wrestling match, Lu Qing had a clear advantage. No matter how the opponent kicked, he remained motionless. The iron-headed cricket, whose abdomen was severely injured, could not resist the loss of vitality after all, but his emotions were still crazy. Die. I want you to die. Even though the force was getting weaker and weaker, the temper of this iron-headed cricket was getting worse and worse. Lu Qing was speechless, purely crazy. Just a glance, how much hatred and resentment, or is this species just like this? There is no need to communicate about this. Lu Qing's knife foot pulled horizontally, directly cutting the opponent into two pieces. Even though it gradually lost its breath, the mouthparts of the iron-headed cricket were still tightly biting Lu Qing's knife foot. After prying it open, Lu Qing began to lick the experience bag. Blood and flesh value plus 0.1 feet. Blood and flesh value plus 0.1 feet. Not bad, one bite increases a little, just average. After completely swallowing it, the whole iron-headed cricket provided him with 13 points of experience. Just after finishing eating, a green locust fell from the sky and ate the iron armor that Lu Qing couldn't digest without saying a word. The sharp mouthparts opened and closed like a ruthless chewing machine. After a few bites, the solid iron armor had become food in his stomach. Lu Qing checked the information of the green locust. Race: green locust. Strength: low level 6th grade. 6th grade. The mouthparts of the green locust are powerful, but the defense is nothing special. Dealing with species with low defense is what Lu Qing is best at. He came here just to gain experience, so of course he would not be a saint. The knife foot attacked swiftly and pierced the back of the green locust in an instant. The green locust, which felt pain, did not fight back at the first time, but jumped to escape. This thing is 1 meter in size, but its strength is greater than that of the iron-headed cricket. The secondary foot that Lu Qing used to stabilize his body was not very useful, and the whole thing was carried away by the opponent. Lu Qing hurriedly used the other knife foot to grab a stone on the side. The green locust was blocked. Lu Qing took the opportunity to cut off one of its thick legs with his blade. After the leg was cut off, the green locust immediately began to beg for mercy. "I ate some scraps that you couldn't eat, not that bad, not that bad." Communication can bring out emotions. Lu Qing wanted to be a heartless killing machine, and immediately cut off another thick leg. "I am the vanguard of the Locust army, and the army of 300,000 is 100 miles away. Good guy, a locust is a threat. And the army of 300,000 can count. Your grandmother, your grandfather can't do it." He sent the other party away with his blade, and then began to extract energy. "The peach forest is really nice. I met 2 6th grade creatures after walking a few steps. The experience bar has increased to 1/10. According to the resources of the peach forest, it is possible to upgrade to the 8th grade today." Lu Qing was immediately excited. Lu Qing had walked more than 10 miles. Because he knew that there were extremely powerful beings in the peach forest before entering it, he walked very carefully. It was this caution that made him hear the movement. After sneaking over, he saw a group of animals fighting. It was a monkey and a group of green locusts. The monkey was about 1.5 meters long, covered with golden hair, and was agile but powerful. And it could use weapons. Stones, sticks, and even the thighs of green locusts could become its weapons. Lu Qing calmly pulled out the information of the golden monkey. Race: golden monkey. Strength: low level 8th grade. It was actually the 8th grade. Under normal circumstances, if he saw someone stronger than himself, or a primate, he would definitely turn around and run. But now the situation is different. The 8th grade golden monkey was being besieged by a group of green locusts. The number of green locusts was definitely no less than 100, and they all rushed up desperately. Although they were only 6th grade, their strong bite force and jumping power as well as their numerical advantage made it difficult for the golden monkey to deal with them. Lu Qing climbed up the tree and continued to observe through the gaps between the branches and leaves. The two sides fought back and forth in a lively manner. The golden monkey fought and retreated, with many injuries on its body, and the bright red blood dyed its golden hair red. The green locusts suffered even more heavy losses. The corpses of green locusts were everywhere. But they were still brave. This made Lu Qing, who was watching the show, wonder. Why did the one he met before beg for mercy in fear of death, but this group was so brave? Could it be that the green locust species has a bonus of courage when they gather together? As long as there is a fight, there will be a winner or loser. The golden monkey's 8th grade strength is indeed strong. Even though there are nearly 100 green locusts, it only suffered several serious injuries. The turning point came from a 7th grade green locust king, which bit off its left arm with a sneak attack with its powerful mouthparts. Although it has killed the green locust king and killed all the remaining green locusts, the serious injury has made it extremely weak. Although the golden monkey is smart, it does not know how to stop the bleeding. It can only lean helplessly behind a peach tree, gasping for breath, waiting for the arrival of the god of death. The god of death has not yet arrived, but the god of the knife has arrived. The 8th grade is very strong, but the 8th grade with a broken arm and a weak breath is no threat. There are experience packs everywhere, which is a great temptation for Lu Qing. Which luck mantis can refuse the experience packs everywhere? Just lick it. After Lu Qing came out, he did not approach the 8th grade golden monkey. Although he was seriously injured and had only one breath left, it would be enough to make him uncomfortable if he was hit by it before dying. It would be safer to deal with the green locust corpses outside first. There are many strange creatures in the peach forest. Such a big commotion is naturally not discovered by Lu Qing alone. After he came out, a knife swallow fell from the sky soon. The tail of the knife swallow is like a blade. It is about half a meter in size and has a strength of the 7th rank. Lu Qing, who is also a 7th rank, did not drive the other party away, but began to lick experience on his own. He would not feel full, so he ate very quickly. The knife swallow pecked at a green locust leg with an elegant posture. When he raised his head, he found that the green locust corpses on the ground were reduced by half. The knife swallow was a little unhappy. I didn't even take a few bites of this leg, and you killed more than a dozen. You have never eaten anything. Do you understand elegance? What do you understand? This is competition, snatching, and elegant. You take your time and be graceful. While communicating and responding, he stuffed a whole green locust leg into his mouth. Dao Yan was shocked when he saw this scene. No, one leg in one bite. Several barefoot lizards also wanted to come over to share a piece of the pie. But because they were afraid of Lu Qing and Dao Yan's strength, they didn't dare to get close, and could only wait until they finished eating before going over. However, they didn't expect that the mantis had such a huge appetite. In a short while, most of the green locusts had been wiped out. These barefoot lizards were all shocked. In this era, is it so difficult to get a bite of food? There are so many dead green locusts, and you, a mantis, have such a good appetite. Don't worry, there are still many. A small lizard jumped up with its tail shaking. Don't worry, brother, just talking for a while, the mantis has eaten another whole one. Is that stomach infinite space? It can't be full. The biggest one was still calm. Hold on, he's too strong. If we rush out rashly, it's likely to add some side dishes to change his taste. Lu Qing was so excited that he swept across the battlefield directly. At this time, Dao Yan didn't even finish eating one. That is to say, Dao Yan's appetite is not big, otherwise he would definitely jump up and curse. Lu Qing looked at his panel. The experience value has reached 457 500ths. There are still 43 points. Focus on the corpse of the 7th grade green locust king. Only those with the same level of strength can provide more experience. 43 points of experience, this green locust king should be able to provide. However, it is too close to the golden monkey leaning against the tree. Lu Qing looked at the golden monkey and found that it had closed its eyes. Dead, or fainted from excessive blood loss? Or was it pretending? Lu Qing took a few steps forward, staring at the golden monkey with his eyes. He took a few steps vigilantly, stretched out his knife foot, and hooked the body of the 7th grade green locust king. After seeing that the golden monkey had no reaction, he pulled it over. Because he was afraid that the golden monkey would suddenly attack, he dragged the body of the green locust king for dozens of meters before preparing to eat it. 7th grade green locust king. Everyone knows that this is a good thing, and Dao Yan is no exception. It moved a little closer. Brother, can you give me a leg? Lu Qing looked at the other party with contempt. You dare not approach the golden monkey, and now I hook the green locust king out, but you want to share a piece of the pie. How can there be such a good thing? The legs are here, plump and meaty, come and take it. Dao Yan still has some IQ. It just jumped a step over here and noticed the two big knife feet. We have never met before, and we are of different races. If he comes over and stabs me, wouldn't that be a loss? Throw it over here. Lu Qing smiled. You are quite alert. If you don't dare to come over, then you can just watch over there, or... Lu Qing pointed at the golden monkey with his knife foot. There is an 8th grade golden monkey over there, go eat the better one. Everyone knows that the energy contained in the 8th grade is stronger, and eating it will be of great benefit to the promotion. But it doesn't dare. If it doesn't die, it will be me who dies. Dao Yan was annoyed. Why don't you eat the 8th grade golden monkey? You have eaten so many green locusts, and now I want a green locust king's leg, but you don't even give me it. Isn't it too stingy? Come on, it's moral kidnapping again. I am a mantis, how can this thing work on me? If you want leg meat, come here, otherwise get out. Otherwise, you can't get out even if you want to wait a while. Dao Yan snorted coldly. Forget it, you don't give it, why are you bragging? You, a mantis, can you stop me? If I had no advantage in a direct confrontation, would I still want it? Just grab it directly. Do you really think my knife tail is just for show? Dao Yan cursed a few words in his heart, and then walked towards the last green locust corpse. Bear it for now, beat him up after eating. Dao Yan snorted coldly and slowly began to peck again. The 4 lizards were extremely disappointed. No, there are so many green locusts, and you didn't leave a single one. How can you put down hundreds of green locusts with your 1-meter body? This is too unreasonable. Where did this mantis come from, with such a big appetite? Don't look at it, it will be dark if you look at it again. Catch a few peach worms to fill your stomach first. I'm going to vomit the peach worms. Then don't eat them. Several barefoot lizards left reluctantly. Most of the animals who were ready to share the food also dispersed in frustration. Only a few were still watching, as if they wanted to eat a bite of the golden monkey. Lu Qing began to devour the 7th grade green locust king. Get flesh and blood value plus 0.2 feet. Get flesh and blood value plus 0.2 feet. Sure enough, the same grade gives more experience. It seems that after devouring this green locust king, there will be no problem with upgrading. Lu Qing began to feast on it, and soon he had devoured the entire green locust king. The energy storage is full, do you want to upgrade? Single quote. Yes, single quote. The energy accumulated by the system began to wash Lu Qing's body. Energy rolled, warm and comfortable. In a few seconds, the upgrade was completed. The first thing Lu Qing saw when he came to his senses was that the black of the blade foot became darker and darker, and silver lines appeared on both sides of the blade foot. His body suddenly grew to 1.5 meters. The biggest change was the 4 secondary legs. The previous secondary legs had almost no changes, but after the upgrade, the barbs on the secondary legs became very sharp, like a bunch of small scimitars. After this enhancement, the secondary legs can also be used as hidden weapons. The panel was opened. Race, Mantis. Level, low level 8th grade 9.2700. Skills, Strong Sting evolvable. Swift Flight evolvable. The attack skill was enhanced again. However, the flying skill remained unchanged. Mantises are not good at flying, so it is reasonable that their flying skills evolve slowly. While eating leg meat, Dao Yan was vigilantly observing the surroundings. The 2 directions it paid the most attention to were the mantis and the golden monkey. The golden monkey had not moved for a long time, and it was unknown whether it was dead. However, the mantis that it paid the most attention to at this time had changed. When it looked up again, the whole bird was dumbfounded. The last time it looked at it, the mantis was still 1 meter in size. After more than 10 seconds, it was found that the other party had grown a lot and reached about 1.5 meters. Although it did not understand the measurement, such an obvious change still made the meat in its mouth fall to the ground. No, it has been upgraded. Which species upgrade is not a slow process, and the process of body growth is not painful. How come this mantis completed the upgrade so quickly, and it also looked like it was enjoying it very much? Dao Yan's body trembled. It saw the mantis's malicious eyes. Although there was no expression, it really felt that the mantis had a malicious feeling. Oh my God, he is not greedy for my body. Suddenly, it remembered the warning from the mantis before. Quote. You can't roll when you want to. Before, I thought the other party was bragging. After all, with my own strength, I can't beat him head on, but I can still leave calmly if I want to. Now, the other party broke through to the 8th grade in a short time. It's not just the strength that has advanced, but also the huge body and exaggerated wings. Once the other party gets close, can I still run away? I can't run away. The gap of 1 grade is very obvious. The previous words were not bragging, but the other party really has this strength. Daoyan was very decisive. After looking at each other, he immediately flapped his wings and took off. As for the leg meat on the ground, it's not important. There is always a chance to eat good food when you are alive. Lu Qing was quite surprised by Daoyan's alertness and decisiveness. Birds are indeed smarter than insects. If it were insects, they probably wouldn't be able to detect the danger now. I am already at the 8th level, and now I am not afraid of the injured golden monkey at all. Lu Qing waved his knife foot and walked straight towards the golden monkey. There were some animals watching originally. When they saw that the mantis had suddenly broken through to the 8th level, they knew that they would not be able to share this share, and they might even become the soup if they didn't leave. The rest of them also left dejectedly. The mantis of the 7th level had an absurd appetite, and they didn't dare to grab it. Now that it has been inexplicably promoted to the 8th level, they have even less chance. Lu Qing came to the front of the golden monkey. At this time, the golden monkey closed its eyes tightly, with a pool of dark red blood next to it, and no more blood was flowing from the wound. He stretched out his blade foot and touched the golden monkey's shoulder. The next moment, the golden monkey's eyes suddenly opened. The burnt yellow eyes were fierce, and he grabbed Lu Qing's blade foot with one arm. The golden monkey's strength was extremely great, at least greater than that of all the species he had encountered. During this pull, Lu Qing's body could not help but move closer to the other party. Lu Qing responded very quickly, and the newly evolved secondary foot instantly pierced into the ground, and the powerful grip controlled his body. In an instant, he saw doubts and a trace of fear in the golden monkey's eyes. The inner activities of the golden monkey at this time were family, who understands. As an 8th grade existence, it was actually provoked and beaten by the green locust. Its violent temper came up all of a sudden. After a hand tearing, it finally dealt with these little fools, but it was also seriously injured, and even broke an arm. It is not an insect, and a broken arm cannot be regenerated. Now it needs to cultivate. With its extraordinary hearing and eyes, it discovered that a large number of peepers were hidden in the dark. In this case, it couldn't leave quickly, so it could only pretend to be dead, waiting for someone to take the bait, and then kill a chicken to scare the chicken, kill an insect to scare the strong, and then rest quietly for 3 or 5 days. However, these insects and birds are far more vigilant than it imagined. After waiting for a long time, a bug was fooled. The one fooled was a 7th grade mantis. 7th grade. Even with one arm, it can completely eat and tear the opponent alive. So when the opponent tried to probe, it attacked decisively and grabbed the blade foot. However, when it looked carefully, it found that the mantis was actually in 8th grade. Who can understand this situation? When closing his eyes to lure, it was still a 7th grade, and when he opened his eyes, it was an 8th grade big guy. And he also grabbed the opponent's blade foot. This action is full of flaws. If the opponent is a 7th grade, he can force it to come over, and then bite it with his fangs to give it a fatal blow. But now the opponent is in 8th grade, and he can't pull it at all. Sensing the danger, the golden monkey hurriedly let go. Sure enough, the next moment, another blade stabbed diagonally. The golden monkey burst out with a strong survival instinct, jumped up, and prepared to avoid this fatal blow. No matter how much it burst out when it was injured, it couldn't be too strong. What's more, it was not facing an ordinary 8th grade, but the cheating Lu Qing. The released blade foot did not retreat, but stretched out directly and hooked the opponent's ankle. Another blade foot followed closely and pierced the golden monkey's thigh. The golden monkey, which jumped into the air, was pulled back and fell to the ground. Don't do it. I can tell you a secret. The blade foot raised in the air paused. Tell me about it. The golden monkey thought Lu Qing had fallen into a trap, and was secretly happy, but continued, I know a place full of rare treasures, and you can benefit a lot from eating anything there. In just a few words, there are many loopholes. This really regards himself as an insect with low IQ. Lu Qing sneered, no interest. Before he finished speaking, the blade foot fell. Don't. The monkey's head was cut off. It didn't understand until it died. How could the insect that was always easy to deceive be so smart today? Lu Qing tasted the monkey brain. Fresh and smooth. This is secondary. The main thing is that after taking a bite, it provides 0.2 experience points. Just one bite can provide 0.2, this whole thing, wouldn't it provide 200 to 300 points? It was already dark. The terrifying roar resounded through the peach forest like thunder. The next roar came from a closer source. I'm afraid it won't be long before this terrifying existence passes by here. Lu Qing quickly hooked the body of the golden monkey and returned the same way. After the 8th level, the body is 1.5 meters tall. Even if it hooks the 1.8 meter golden monkey, it is not difficult. Using the wings to increase the speed, it didn't take long to arrive in front of the cave. Lu Qing walked in and found Da Zhuang climbing up slowly. "Boss, where have you been this afternoon?" Lu Qing put down the body of the golden monkey and said unhappily, "You can eat and drink enough when you go out, but I have to look for prey everywhere." "What do you think I have been doing?" Da Zhuang chuckled, and then his eyes fell on the body of the golden monkey on the ground. "What the hell is this? 8th grade golden-haired monkey." Da Zhuang couldn't help but be stunned. How many grades? 8th grade. 8th grade. Only then did it realize that its boss seemed to have grown a lot bigger. "No, boss, are you at the 8th level?" "Yes." After receiving the affirmative answer, Da Zhuang immediately sat on the ground in frustration. "No, you took medicine. Upgrading to a higher rank is as easy as eating. I thought I could advance quickly enough, but I didn't expect you to be faster. In just a few days, you have gone from the 7th rank to the 8th rank." Lu Qing ignored it and started eating. Da Zhuang on the side was very greedy. "How does the 8th grade golden monkey taste?" "It's okay." "Then, is the meat hard?" After asking questions repeatedly, "Don't you just want to try it?" Lu Qing moved his knife and picked off 2 flat peaches from the golden monkey. "This thing is a great supplement, let me taste it for you." After saying that, he threw it to the other party. Da Zhuang had never eaten primates before, so he naturally didn't know what these 2 flat peaches were. It took it excitedly and couldn't wait to enjoy the 8-course delicacy. "Well, it tastes good, but it's a bit saucy." Lu Qing secretly laughed in his heart. 8th grade meat is like that, you get used to it after eating it. In fact, the texture and taste are secondary. The real beauty is the energy contained in it. This is true. Although the location of this piece of meat is very awkward, the effect is definitely good. If a 5th grade mantis is strong enough to eat 8th grade meat, the benefits are numerous. Lu Qing didn't need to chew, so he ate very quickly. Da Zhuang finished 2 flat peaches, and when he looked up, he found that there were only white bones left on the ground. It raised the foot of the knife and wiped its mouth without being satisfied. "Boss, you are still so fast at cooking." "Is this fast?" Lu Qing picked up the bones and tried to chew one. When the level was low before, the bones could not be chewed at all, but now it is not difficult. Get flesh and blood value plus 0.2 feet. All bones are useful. This time the bones were completely wiped away. A whole 8th grade golden-haired monkey, except for 2 flat peaches, all went into its belly. The experience value has also skyrocketed to 258/700. If you find a way to kill 2 8th level players, you will be promoted again. Lu Qing was in a good mood and climbed down on the stone bed. Early morning, Lu Qing was awakened by a roar like thunder. Then, an extremely clear and soft voice appeared in my mind. "Today is a war-free day. Within the peach grove, all races above level 5 must provide a tree tip fruit before noon." After the sound disappeared, there was another roar of a different kind. This roar was dozens of miles away, but it shook the dust in the cave. The sound transmission feminization and roar should be from the alien beast, not an individual. Da Zhuang turned over and assumed a fighting stance. "What's going on?" Lu Qing turned over and came to the entrance of the cave. The roar of dozens of miles away is so powerful, and the sound can be transmitted clearly. I don't know what kind of race it is, but it has such a strong strength. Da Zhuang hurriedly followed. "If it doesn't work, we'll run away." After coming outside, Lu Qing originally wanted to find some high-ranking peach insects to inquire about the situation, but unexpectedly, a bird sparrow happened to pass by in the air. Lu Qing, who had reached the 8th level, was extremely fast, and the arrow bird was naturally caught and pulled down in an instant. The arrow bird let out a scream, and then begged frantically for mercy. "Don't do it, don't do it, today is a war-free day." Lu Qing let go of his hand and took a closer look. He felt that the arrow bird in front of him looked familiar. Tell me what it was like on War-Free Day, and what that roar was. Jank looked shocked. Looking at Lu Qing's terrifying sword, he communicated tremblingly. War-Free Day is a day prescribed by the Lord of Taolin. The whole day on the full moon day is designated as War-Free Day. On this day, no matter what it is, there cannot be any fighting or killing between the species, otherwise the Lord of the Peach Grove will appear in person to suppress it. Quote. Lu Qing was slightly shocked. Being able to set dates and formulate rules shows that the master of the Peach Forest is very wise. Have strength and wisdom. What race is the Lord of Peach Grove and what strength does he have? Arrow Bird responded immediately. It is said to be a white ape. The white ape is as tall as a mountain. It is said that his strength has surpassed the low level. It makes sense that the white ape is so intelligent. If the strength breaks away from the low level, then the lowest level is the existence of the second level. Such a powerful force is definitely not something that I can mess with now. Taolin is a good place. The Lord of Taolin is very powerful. It is the right way to temporarily obey the rules and tolerate growth. So what is the tree-top fruit mentioned earlier? The arrow sparrow's red beak tapped the peach tree next to it. The top is the highest point, the crystal clear fruit, which is the tree tip fruit. The tree tip fruit ripens every 3 years, and only one fruit can mature after a full moon in 100 trees. It is the most precious fruit of the Lord of the Peach Forest, like. It is rumored that this fruit can prolong life and have many benefits. However, no race knows the specific benefits. Why? Arrow Bird seemed to shrink back in extreme fear. Everyone who tasted it was torn into pieces by the Lord of the Peach Forest, and the same race was also implicated and torn into pieces. The white ape has a bad temper. Turning around, okay, you go. The Arrow Bird said timidly, I have reached the 5th rank, and I also need to provide a tree-top fruit to the master of the Peach Forest. I wonder if I can take this fruit away. It's really stupid and greedy. Lu Qing kicked it directly to fly. Turning around and ordering Da Zhuang picked the fruit. Da Zhuang flew and climbed to pick the branches and tree-top fruits. Then he took it to find another one. Da Zhuang clamped the branches with his 2 knife feet and held the fruit on his back. Boss, I feel it's hard to walk like this. You don't have any trouble when you eat and drink. Along the way, Lu Qing encountered many races. Among them was the stubborn iron-headed cricket. The iron-headed cricket looked at any species with a bitter and vengeful look, but he also restrained himself and didn't dare to take action. After encountering the iron-headed cricket, the other party didn't even dare to look at him. Lu Qing thought to himself, it seems that the iron-headed cricket is only stubborn to those with weak strength. A typical bully who only fears the strong and bullies the weak. Hearing a buzzing sound in the air, he looked up and saw a 2-meter-long dragonfly with a wingspan of more than 4 meters flying through the air. The wings of this dragonfly were like metal blades, vibrating rapidly, and the sound came from the vibration. The dragonfly seemed to notice that a species was looking at it, so it stopped in the air. A cold voice came out immediately. HMPH. If you dare to look up at me again, be careful that I will chop you into meat paste. The species in this peach forest have a bad temper. This female dragonfly actually got angry just because she took a look. Sure enough, this world is unreasonable, and only strength matters. All other species lowered their heads honestly, but Lu Qing smiled. If you don't look up, do you look up your butt? The dragonfly's eyes instantly locked on Lu Qing. After seeing that the other party was also in 8th grade, he snorted again, why am I so arrogant? It turns out to be a little mantis. They are both at the 8th level and are divided into strong and weak ones. Among the Zerg, the mantis attack power is definitely second to none. But the winged blade dragonfly was not afraid at all. Its confidence comes from its blade-like wings. The rapidly vibrating wings are like a meat grinder. As long as it passes by, even the same product will be minced into minced meat. It was precisely because of this confidence that it didn't take the mantis in front of it seriously. Lu Qing didn't bother to talk to the other party. After all, today is a war-free day, and no matter how much you talk, it is just to attract hatred. It would be better to have a fight directly. After all, 8th grade experience packs are hard to find. If you find one, you have to make an appointment. Lu Qing waved his sword foot at the dragonfly. Since you are so arrogant, do you dare to go to Taolin East tomorrow morning? I can let you try some bullying from the mantis. Afraid that the other party would not understand the direction, he added, the east is the direction where the sun rises in the morning. The winged blade dragonfly immediately agreed without thinking, just you. That's fine, I haven't eaten a mantis for a long time. You can wash your long neck tomorrow and wait for my winged blade to crush you to pieces. After saying that, his wings vibrated quickly and he flew away quickly. Lu Qing's message caught up with it, don't break the appointment, my meat is very fragrant. Only when the dragonfly flies far away does it dare to show its head. Boss, dragonflies are both arrogant and aloof. When they complete the great cause of reproduction, the male and female are butt to butt, without even looking at each other. You'd better not argue with each other. I guess you think I can't beat it. How is that possible? I've watched you, boss, step by step achieve what you have today. When will we move? Dragonfly wings are too scary. I'm afraid we will become mantis scum. After talking so much nonsense, aren't you still not optimistic about yourself? Having said that, dragonflies fly extremely fast, can attack quickly, and their wings are so sharp that if they touch it, they will basically turn into pulp. Looking at it this way, he really has no chance of winning. Lu Qing snorted coldly, the dragonfly's wing blade is really powerful. You should move out as soon as you get back, so as not to worry me all day. And you, of course we'll stay in the cave and have a big meal. How can there be a big meal? Dragonflies are a feast. Boss, you can't handle the other party. At this moment, a rough voice suddenly came from behind. Get out of the way, get out of my way. Turning around, I saw smoke and dust billowing. The trembling on the ground let Lu Qing know that a big guy was coming from behind. Sure enough, a large insect over 3 meters in size appeared in the smoke. This insect is covered in thick black carapace, and its 6 legs are very thick and covered with thick black carapace. It has no tentacles, instead it has rhinoceros-like black horns, with the head shaped like a sledgehammer. There are also 2 thorn horns on the upper body. This size, coupled with the fully covered carapace, makes it a mobile tank. Lu Qing pulled out the other party's information. Race: ironclad giant bull insect. Strength: low level 8th grade. Talent: rampage. This is the first Zerg monster that Lu Qing has encountered with its own skills. Both were in the 8th grade. Lu Qing was only about 1.5 meters tall, winged blade dragonfly was 2 meters tall, but the armored giant bull in front of him was 3 meters tall. This body shape and exaggerated dimensions are not just twice as big. Da Zhuang hid aside in a hurry. When it saw Lu Qing who was motionless, it reminded him repeatedly. Boss, get out of the way, don't get trampled to death by this big guy. Lu Qing still didn't make any move, just stared at the charging giant armored bull. The giant armored bull didn't care at all. It didn't care whether it would hit the opponent. It lowered its head and turned the hammer horn on its head sideways. At this moment, Lu Qing made a move. His sword foot flashed quickly and struck directly at the treetop fruit on the back of the armored giant bull. This knife may not be able to break the armored giant bull, but the 2 treetop fruits will definitely turn into slag. The giant iron-clad bull ran rampantly and extremely fast, partly because of its nature, and more importantly because it wanted to deliver the top fruit to the Lord of the Peach Grove as soon as possible. It doesn't matter if it gets a knife, but if the top of the tree is damaged, where can you find it? So the armored giant bull immediately came to an emergency stop. The 6 legs were inserted straight into the soil like an iron plow. Driven by inertia, 2 ravines appeared. When it stopped, the foot of the knife was only a few inches away from the top fruit. The giant armored bull couldn't help but feel a little scared. The 2 treetop fruits that I finally got were almost destroyed by this little bug. That little temper tantrum came up all of a sudden. You don't want to live anymore. Lu Qing put away his sword and said very kindly, actually, I want to chop you. Cut me, my armor is thicker than your sword, how about you? Da Zhuang, who was standing aside, couldn't help but feel worried when he saw his boss being so arrogant. Boss, what's going on today? Why are you causing trouble everywhere? During this period of time, it had not been fooling around with Lu Qing in vain. Looking at the infinitely arrogant boss, it suddenly thought of something. Normally, the boss mantis doesn't say much. If he can play dirty tricks, he will definitely not play tricks on others. If he really wants to deal with the opponent, he should have quietly used his sword long ago. Being so arrogant now must have some agenda. Under Lu Qing's guidance, Dazhuang already had some thinking ability, and he suddenly thought of an idea. Could it be? Haha, the boss is really full of bad intentions. The armored giant bull communicated angrily, you are just a mantis, and you dare to speak so arrogantly to your father. Today is a day without fighting, otherwise I will hammer you into a meat pie in an instant. After saying that, the big head shook, and the iron hammer horn danced back and forth, making a whistling sound in the wind, which looked amazing. Just when Lu Qing was about to invite him, Dazhuang jumped out all of a sudden. Its blade feet were tightly stuck on two branches, which looked quite funny. Boss, look at me. It raised its triangular head and looked at the armored giant bull. Just you. Don't look at how strong you are. If I, the boss, take action, I can chop you into 3 or 7 pieces in an instant. Lu Qing almost laughed. This guy can't count, and he said this because he heard Lu Qing say something similar. The armored giant bull was instantly furious. We are 2 8th grade people communicating, how come a 5th grade little guy jumped out? How can a person like you have the qualifications to talk to me? Get out of here and let the big mantis come out. It looked at Lu Qing and said, the big one dares not say a word, so let the small one come out to fight, right? Just when Lu Qing was about to speak, he was interrupted by Dazhuang again. Grass-skinned calf, I don't need to do anything to deal with a person like you. I can chop off your head and use it as a urinal with just one cut. Dazhuang became more and more excited as he spoke, tilting his head, looking arrogant, look at you with your big eyes, what are you looking at? Are you not convinced? I know you are not convinced, today is a day without fighting, so I will spare your life for the time being. If you have a little courage, tomorrow morning, Taolan East, I, Dazhuang, will personally take action to deal with you. The armored giant bull's teeth were itching with anger. You jumping clown, you are simply not knowing whether to live or die. A mere 5th grade little mantis actually. The armored giant bull agreed in a rough voice, okay, see you tomorrow. Whoever doesn't go is a fleshworm. After saying that, he gave Lu Qing a fierce look. Including you. Tomorrow I will beat you 2 mantises into a meat paste. After saying that, he turned around and started running again. Seeing the giant armored bull running wildly, Dazhuang happily asked Lu Qing for credit. Boss, how did I perform? Not bad. Lu Qing nodded, it seems that you have learned a lot from me during this time. Hey, boss taught you well. When it's done tomorrow, I'll give you real leg meat to eat. Upon hearing this, Dazhuang became even more energetic. 8th grade leg meat definitely has a lot of benefits. If you eat some more, you can advance to 6th grade. Boss, there are already 3 8th grade ones. Is that enough? Lu Qing shook his head, 3. Not enough. The more, the better. I'll give you a chance to practice. You can pull as many as you can at the 8th level. Hey, I promise to complete the mission. Under Lu Qing's guidance, Dazhuang completely let himself go along the way. Anyway, today is a war-free day, and I have my boss backing me up, and I have a perfect plan made by my boss. What else do I have to be afraid of? According to the boss, just be arrogant. The more arrogant the better, the more arrogant the better. A red-clawed hawk passes by. If you are strong, just open it. That dove in the sky, yes, it's you. What a poinsettia hawk, in my eyes you are just a pigeon. Not convinced. It's only the 8th level. Dealing with you is as easy as killing a chicken. Tomorrow, Dao Lindong, see how I kill you. A flaming chicken galloped past. Big and strong, close to the face and open wide. Whatever you are looking at, I am talking about you, you little brat. 8th grade fire-burning chicken. I would like to see if you fire-burning chickens can roast yourselves. Not convinced. Tomorrow Dao Lindong, watch me eat your big chicken legs. A Pegasus appeared in the sky. Hey, why are you running so fast, you wild donkey? You have wings, you think you are an insect. 9th grade Pegasus, flying horse. After reacting, his big strong legs softened and he fell to the ground. 9th grade, make it big. Pegasus snorted and stared at it. His courage was shattered. It's so amazing that I actually offended the 9th grade. It, which was so arrogant just now, immediately became a darling mantis. Misunderstanding, I said that I was in a great mood when I woke up today. It turns out that I was destined to see such auspiciousness as you. Your hair is really white and shiny. Coupled with your toned body, I'm so envious of you. The flattery you give is all aged, that's how fragrant it is. You walk slowly, even his back looks so handsome. Seeing Pegasus disappear, Dazhuang breathed a sigh of relief. I almost lost it. If this really invites the 9th grade Pegasus to come over, not only will the plan fail, but both of them will have to flee. Lu Qing glared at it fiercely. Look clearly, don't get up. Dazhuang quickly agreed, I promise you won't get caught. I'll make sure to take a closer look next time. If I encounter a species I haven't seen before, I'll ask first. It has to be said that there are really crouching tigers, hidden dragons and rich resources in the Taolin. We even encountered a stinging insect covered in spikes. This bug is about 2 meters long and has sharp spines all over its body. Because the legs are short and need to wriggle, the speed is slower. As far as the Zerg race is concerned, this huge size is destined to be a high-quality species. At Lu Qing's signal, Dazhuang took the initiative to get closer. What do you call your boss? A high-pitched voice appeared in Dazhuang's mind. What the hell do you dare to stand in front of me? That means today is a war-free day, otherwise a poisonous sting will send you home. He has a bad temper. Dazhuang didn't have Lu Qing's cheating methods, so he naturally didn't know the strength of the stinging insect in front of him. I could only lower my head and bow down. Yes, what you taught me is that your sting is really powerful, it is unparalleled in the world. I wonder if I can ask, what is your current rank? Who can stand flattery? The 2-meter-long giant stinging insect immediately raised its body with great satisfaction. If you can speak, listen carefully, I am the 8th grade, little 5th grade, worship me. It thought that after Dazhuang heard about this rank, he would definitely respect him like a god. Unexpectedly, Dazhuang staged an alien face change. 8th grade, mad, I am looking for you at the 8th level. Dazhuang immediately spat. Your mother, your father can't change the fact that you are trash, so he still worships you. If today was not a war-free day, I would trample you to death right now. The stinging insects were stunned. The contrast was so great that its shrunken cerebellum couldn't turn around for a while. No, you were submissive just now, and then started spewing feces in the blink of an eye. How dare you, a mere 8th grade person. The little temper of the stinging insect is about to explode in an instant. The stings on his body began to tremble. Dazhuang had no idea that he might not be able to control himself once the stinging insect got on top of him and he would go on a rampage. It also showed its belly quite confidently. Why do you want to do it? Come on, stick it here. I want to see how the Lord of the Peach Grove punishes you, an insect that breaks the rules. These 4 words, Lord of the Peach Grove, instantly made the stinging insect sober up. Such a powerful existence has already exceeded imagination in terms of perception and hearing. Rumor has it that 2 9th grade beasts and insects were fighting each other. However, before they could decide the winner, the Lord of the Peach Grove suddenly appeared, and in an instant, the 2 9th grade beasts and insects were turned into meat at the same time. If he had turned the little mantis in front of him into a hedgehog just for the sake of quickness, he would probably have been killed instantly by the Lord of the Peach Grove. The stinging insect, which had regained some sense, suppressed its anger. Dazhuang is pushing the envelope. Hey, you're still angry. Look at that little expression, like a fleshworm that can't eat the leaves, haha. For the Zerg, fleshworm is definitely a shameful word. Such an insult. The stinging insect is on the verge of going berserk again. Don't be unconvinced, and don't say that I won't give you a chance. You big brother, I live in Taolin East. Tomorrow morning, I will wait for you there, pull out your thorns one by one, turn around and pierce you on your body. Okay. Stinging insect was shaking with anger. Tomorrow, the one who doesn't come is the meat worm. Dazhuang's eyes lit up, and look, this idiot is on his way. That's right, if you don't come, I'll be a meat bug. I'll wait for you. After saying that, he raised his sword and left. The stinging insect trembled and moved on. Boss, we've already met 28 of them this way. Is that enough? Lu Qing looked at the sun. It's almost the time appointed by the Lord of the Peach Grove. That's enough, 28. It's enough to upgrade no matter what. Dazhuang was quite sensitive to new words and immediately asked, upgrade, what is upgrade? Promoted. Understood. Lu Qing looked ahead. There is a huge and low peach tree. The reason why it is described like this is because the diameter of this ancient peach tree is more than 30 meters, but its height is probably not even 20 meters. The overall look is like a green mushroom growing on a large tree stump. But the strange thing is that there are no flowers or fruits on this peach tree. Some are just green leaves in a huge tree hole. The lord of the peach grove is just ahead. Stop communicating. Just offer the fruits in a low-key manner and then leave. Da Zhuang nodded repeatedly. Lu Qing wanted to see the master of the peach forest, so he carefully watched the surroundings. Animals of all species came in an orderly manner from all directions, and then left peacefully after offering the treetop fruits. The 3 white monkeys received the treetop fruits. They were more than 2 meters tall, with long arms and broad shoulders, strong and flexible. Lu Qing pulled out their information. Race: white-witted monkey. Strength: low-level 9th grade. Introduction: a unique and rare species, with average strength, but high IQ. Single quote. It can be seen that this white-witted monkey is indeed unique because it can have a separate introduction. The huge peach forest was well managed, and it must have been the credit of these 3 white-witted monkeys. All races offered the collected treetop fruits, which were then kept by these 3 white-witted monkeys. When the 2 of them came closer, there were already 3 piles of treetop fruits behind the 3 white-witted monkeys. A new male mantis. One of the white-witted monkeys looked at Lu Qing, then signaled Da Zhuang to put the treetop fruit on the fruit pile. Lu Qing immediately responded, "We came to the peach forest yesterday." The white-witted monkey nodded slightly. "You can bring the treetop fruit here, which means you have heard the rules here. Well, leave." There was no excessive communication, and no gossip. It seemed that Lu Qing, an 8th-grade mantis, was not in his eyes. Lu Qing also knew himself. The 9th-grade white-witted monkeys might be strong, but the master of the peach forest behind them was the real master. If he looked down on me, I could concentrate on my development. When Lu Qing left, he took a look at the tree hole. The tree hole was blocked by branches and leaves, and even with strong eyesight, he could not see anything. This master of the peach forest was a bit mysterious. Could it be that the 3 white-witted monkeys played some tricks? For example, construct a fake lord of the peach forest to intimidate these restless races, and let them deliver the treetop fruit that the white intelligent monkey loves to eat on time every month. This is possible. After all, with the intelligence of the white intelligent monkey, it is capable of making up stories. In addition, with its outstanding rank and strength, it is not difficult to intimidate races below the 2nd rank. "Boss, the treetop fruit has been delivered. Are we okay?" Da Zhuang's voice transmission interrupted Lu Qing's thinking. "Let's go back to the cave first." They were just about to leave when suddenly a roar came. The roar was like thunder, and it blew up the sand and stones on the ground. Some 5th-rank races were even blown crooked. Da Zhuang almost took off, but Lu Qing pulled him down. Turning around, the ground was in a mess. However, the location of the 3 piles of treetop fruit was very exquisite. Even though the roar was like thunder, it was not affected. The source location was exactly in the tree hole. The roar was so amazing, you can know how strong it is. It seems that the lord of the peach forest really exists. A white wise monkey said, "The time has come, hurry up to deliver the treetop fruit." Turning his head, he saw that several species that had delayed time had already stopped in place, looking at a loss. Most of them were of the 5th rank, and because of their own speed limit, they delayed time. Among them was a snail dragging a house. A white wise monkey jumped up and smashed the snail in its small house into mud with one punch. Other white wise monkeys took action one after another, and in just a few seconds, all the late species were killed. Decisive. Domineering. Lu Qing thought to himself. It is indeed swift and resolute, without even giving a chance to explain. There are 7 who have not arrived. The reckoning begins. A white wise monkey put his hand into his mouth and whistled. Then several teams of king bees flew over, each with more than 30. The leading king bees were about 1 meter long, and their wings vibrated to make a buzzing sound. Lu Qing pulled out the information and took a look. Race: King Bee Commander. Strength: low-level 8th grade. Introduction: a unique bee. Single quote. Unique. Soon Lu Qing knew what was unique. Locate the queen bee, chase and kill. The voice of the king bee commander was cold and emotionless. As soon as the voice fell, the king bees pulled out the stingers on their buttocks and held them in their secondary legs, looking like warriors ready to charge at any time. The king bees that received the order immediately chased and killed in different directions. Obviously, these king bees received the order from the queen bee. Then the queen bee must be an extremely terrifying existence. Just like the queen ant, no, it should be more powerful than the queen ant, with terrifying mental power, able to detect the traces of species within a certain range. So the queen bee knows which species above the 5th grade have not come to offer the tree tip fruit, and accurately locates and kills them, firmly controlling the dynamics and situation of the entire peach forest. This mental ability is simply terrifying. Could it be that the queen of the king bees is the master of the peach forest? No, it is impossible for the king bee to make such a terrifying roar. In any case, it shows that there are many powerful beings in this peach forest. At least the lord of the peach forest and the queen bee are both above the low-level beings. Boss, the lord of the peach forest is too terrifying. With a roar, he even raised sand and stones. Da Zhuang patted his fat belly with his knife foot with lingering fear. It has never seen such a big scene, so it is reasonable to be frightened by the terrifying roar. Lu Qing said calmly, second-level existences are of course terrifying. Go back to the cave first and rest for a while. After all, there are still big things waiting for us to do. Da Zhuang immediately understood and smiled, that makes sense, our major events are the most important. Boss, you are really full of bad ideas. Hee. Early morning. The stinging insect was the first to come to Taolandong. Thinking of the extremely arrogant mantis yesterday, it felt itchy with hatred. Yesterday was a war-free day. I didn't eat all day and night, so I just used those 2 praying mantises as a cushion. The stinging insect stopped squirming. There is already an outline of the sun in the east. This is Taolandong. The big stinging insect straightened up and glanced back and forth with its head with terrifying mouthparts. Where's Mantis? Wasn't he very arrogant yesterday? Get out of here. Today, your stinging grandfather will dig 10,000 holes in you. But there was no movement. Not here yet, coward. What a praying mantis, it's nothing more than a low-grade flesh insect. Sigh. After a few curses, there was still no response. Grandpa is waiting for you, mad, I will definitely stab you to death today. Just when he was scolding vigorously, there was sudden movement behind him. The stinging insect was so happy that he thought it was the 2 praying mantises coming. When he turned around to look, he couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. What came was not a praying mantis, but an equally huge iron-clad giant bull. At this time, the armored giant bull's compound eyes were scarlet and its body was trembling. The stinging insect has seen the giant armored bull once before, but the other person's current state looks a little wrong. The big stinging insect is used to being arrogant. It knows that the armored giant bull is difficult to deal with, but it is still rude and says, "Stay away. I am working here." The giant armored bull remained unmoved and even stared directly at the stinging insect. What's going on? How can I see that an ugly stinging insect covered with spikes has become beautiful and delicious? The irrelevant response of the armored giant bull made the stinging insect shudder, and at the same time, a wave of annoyance rose instantly. Are you a meatworm that is hungry and confused? I am a male stinging insect, my features are more obvious than yours, and I am much bigger than you. What's so delicious about your stinging hair? The armored giant bull shook the big hammer on his head. I won't say whether it is big or not, but I just can't help but have thoughts about you. It didn't know why it was like this. Originally, it was an absolutely normal armored giant bull, and it would definitely find a female to reproduce, but today, I don't know what happened, it actually. Is it related to the peach worm it ate? Just now, it was full of anger and was ready to settle accounts with the 2 mantises. When passing by a peach tree, a peach worm fell in front of it. For it, who was hungry and couldn't climb trees, peach worms were definitely a delicacy from heaven. The peach worm twisted its pink body and went straight to its mouth, drilling into it frantically. It was already in its mouth, so it would be unreasonable not to eat it. So the armored giant bull ate it. Then, it felt hot all over, and wanted to drill into the hole when it saw it. And soon it encountered a stinging worm. The stinging worm's mouth opening and closing was particularly in its eyes. It was really a strange story. An armored giant bull had a crush on me, a stinging worm. I'm so stupid. The stinging worm was instantly furious. What I hate most is cross race. I must kill you today. As soon as he finished speaking, his body shook, and several poisonous stingers shot out. The armored giant bull's armor was comparable to steel plates, and these stingers broke off and fell to the ground. Unexpectedly, this tickling made it more interested. Ah, are you taking off your clothes now? The stinging worm was speechless. I shoot stingers, and you say I'm taking off my clothes. Die for me. The stings on its body kept tickling, flying towards the armored giant bull like a rainstorm. The stings were so accurate, but the aim was poor. The 8th grade flat-toothed hedgehog, who was just about to settle accounts with the mantis, was caught off guard by the sting on his forehead. The flat-toothed hedgehog was immediately anxious. Sting, sneak attack. No wonder the two mantises were so arrogant yesterday. It turned out that they had found helpers. The hedgehog bared his big flat teeth. You're playing sneak attack before you even arrive, right? Die. The sharp spikes on the body of the flat-toothed hedgehog suddenly exploded, and it joined the battlefield directly like a moving sea urchin. At first, the flat-toothed hedgehog was going to kill the stinging insects together with the armored giant bull. But this armored giant bull was not serious, staring at its butt, and even planned to come over. Of course, the flat-toothed hedgehog couldn't stand it. Staring at my butt, looking for death. The red-clawed pheasant had just arrived and saw a big fight between species. It didn't intend to participate in the Zerg war. After all, its goal was to kill the two mantises. It didn't want to participate, but it had no choice. The hedgehog stabbed its wings, and the already bad-tempered red-clawed pheasant became anxious. The winged dragonfly, the sharp-horned goat, the red-headed eagle, and many other violent 8th grade species joined the fight. The fight was so intense that it was dark and chaotic. On a tree branch, Dazhuang grabbed a 4th grade 5-legged snake and took a bite like a spicy snack. These guys are really deadly. Especially the armored giant bull and the sharp-horned goat. They specialize in attacking the lower 3 roads. Tisk, it's different after taking the medicine. Lu Qing smiled and lowered his voice. Any species that eats red spring grass will be unable to help themselves and want to drill into the hole when they see it. Dazhuang nodded repeatedly with admiration. Boss, you were really bad enough to let peach worms eat red spring grass, and then let the armored giant bull and the sharp-horned goat eat peach worms. Lu Qing smiled and said, aren't you afraid that these 8th grade creatures can't fight? So it's better to add some interest to them. Hee, boss, you are really full of bad water. Lu Qing paid attention to the situation and lowered his voice. Don't talk nonsense, watch the show. The 8th grade melee is not so good to watch. The damage caused by the many 8th grade creatures is extremely shocking. In addition, most of these species are irritable, and the fight is really chaotic for a while. As the fight became more and more passionate, they had forgotten the purpose of coming here. They just wanted to kill all races and become the final winner. The Queen Bee asked me to inform you that a large-scale brawl had occurred in the eastern part of the Peach Forest. All the participants in the brawl were 8th grade species. The 3 white wise monkeys exchanged glances, and then one of them whispered, all the participants in the fight are 8th grade, which is too coincidental. Could it be that some intelligent species deliberately caused all this? The other white wise monkey, who looked more mature, shook his head slightly. Impossible. There are mostly insects in the peach forest. Except for the queen bee, the rest of the insect races are of questionable intelligence. No insect race has the ability to provoke dozens of 8th grade species to fight. The only one who could have caused this was the golden monkey, but the golden monkey died the day before yesterday, and died at the hands of the mantis that had just entered the peach forest. So I guess this is probably an accidental incident, and it shouldn't be a deliberate act by a species. After pondering, a white smart monkey nodded slowly. The analysis makes sense, but we still have to finish it. After all, the fight between the 8th grade races will definitely leave a lot of corpses, which are good things and can be used to feed the blood Ganoderma. The other two agreed. The blood Ganoderma needs high-quality blood and flesh to feed, and the corpses of these 8th grade species can accelerate the ripening. Then let the long-bored worms and the king bees do it. They passed the plan back to the queen bee. Not long after, a team of flat and long worms came close. This is the long-bored worm. It is the 6th grade strength, but it has great strength, good endurance, and is good at shipping. It is simply an alien version of the Zerg minivan. Soon, a team of king bees also flew over. After arranging and explaining, the team composed of this boardworm and the king bee set off immediately. Lu Qing fanned the flames in secret, creating an atmosphere from time to time, throwing some red spring grass, making this big melee even more chaotic. Many species with less vigilance don't even know what race killed them. Some are already seriously injured and are looking for an opportunity to jump out of the battle circle and escape. This is the case with the winged saber dragonfly. All of them are tough guys of the 8th rank. Its proud winged saber has been bent, and it will have problems flying if it continues to waste time. It is afraid that its life will be in danger. So it withdrew from the battle circle and prepared to run away first. After all, it is a flying creature, so it is relatively easy to escape from the battle circle. After arriving at the periphery, the winged saber dragonfly secretly breathed a sigh of relief. It's really dangerous. I didn't expect that there are so many powerful species in Talon East. Single quote. After taking a breath, it suddenly remembered the purpose of coming here. To settle accounts with the 2 arrogant mantises. Now I didn't see the 2 mantises, and I was injured. I'm unlucky this time. When I meet 2 mantises again, I'll cut you into slices. Single quote. It cursed a few words in secret and then prepared to fly away. Just as I was rising into the air, I suddenly heard a familiar voice. Hey, we're leaving now. The winged blade dragonfly turned around and found that the person transmitting the message was the fat mantis with only the 5th rank. It froze suddenly. Although the battle damaged its strength, it can still deal with a 5th grade mantis without any effort. Just when it was considering whether to settle the score with the other party, Dazhuang poured another fire on it very appropriately. Why are your wings curled up? One of your secondary feet has fallen off. You are too weak. You can be so embarrassed in such a small scene. With your strength, you should keep a low profile in the future. Before I get angry, it's better to get out and escape. After finishing speaking, he pretended not to take this crippled dragonfly seriously at all. Who can bear this? He was a dignified 8th level mantis who had just encountered an inexplicable battle. After fighting his way out of the siege with his own skills, he was actually ridiculed by a small 5th level mantis. What a new and old grudge. The winged blade dragonfly no longer hesitated, changed direction directly, and attacked the strong man leaning on the tree branch. If you are looking for death, then I will give you a ride. Just as it was approaching with great confidence, it suddenly saw something dark emerging from behind the dense branches and leaves. Taking a closer look, it was a black sword. If it were in its prime, it would naturally not be afraid, and would even have a good sparring session with this sneak attack guy. But now it is injured and its physical energy is almost exhausted. It is more than enough to deal with the 5th grade, but it seems to be insufficient to deal with the sneak attack of the 8th grade. In a panic, it turned its wings and planned to escape through head-on confrontation. However, it was well planned, but it didn't go as planned. Lu Qing's swords and feet moved forward and backward. The front blade legs and the wing blades clashed head-on, forcing the opponent's vibrations to slow down, and the subsequent blade legs went straight to the dragonfly's head. The dragonfly, whose strength was reduced, was hit without even a chance to parry. It tried its best, but its body only moved a little, and the blade that used to chop the head became a breastplate. The dragonfly's defense was average, but its blade foot still broke through the breastplate and slashed in. Its body was quickly restrained by the other half of the blade. Sneak attack, no martial ethics. Survival requires martial ethics. Lu Qing didn't bother to pay attention to it and directly raised the sword foot. Winged blade dragonfly was filled with hatred. You are lucky, I have just experienced a great battle, otherwise you are just a mantis, how can you be my opponent? Is it also down to luck? It seems that it still doesn't understand that they all fell into Lu Qing's trap and thought that the fight just happened by chance. Lu Qing chuckled. I'm sorry, but the 8th grade brawl you experienced was also planned and led by me. Winged blade dragonfly was stunned for a moment. Did he plan it? No wonder he was dragged into the battle out of nowhere. The 8th level insects are still somewhat intelligent. But it's only a little bit. After Lu Qing pointed it out, I understood something, but I arrived at my grandma's house late. Winged blade dragonfly couldn't help but feel a little regretful. If I had known it was so insidious. However, Lu Qing did not give it time to continue thinking. While it was dazed, the knife foot had already fallen. After one blow, the winged blade dragonfly's head fell off. Lu Qing let go of the knife and threw the body down. Transport it back to the cave and move quickly. I'll be on guard against any other race taking advantage of the chaos to escape. There were indeed a few relatively sober beasts who were not involved in this inexplicable 8th level brawl. They chose to hide in the dark and watch. It is obviously planned that a mantis will catch the cicada and the oriole will follow behind. The real mantis hiding further behind would naturally not give them this chance. Centipedes are definitely a sinister race. The 8th level centipede, Joe, has never forgotten what her purpose today is. Find the 2 mantises that dare to challenge you, then chop them into pieces and eat their meat. It's just that the situation was different from what it expected. After arriving here, it didn't see the 2 praying mantises that they had agreed to fight with at all. Instead, they encountered a big fight between the 8th grade races. Centipede is very shrewd and does not want to fight to the death with other strong men for no reason, so he is ready to leave here. As for the 2 praying mantises, I settled nearby and waited for them every day. I didn't believe I wouldn't encounter them. Just when it was about to leave, it stopped. There must be casualties in an 8th grade fight. If there are casualties, there will be big advantages to take advantage of. These fools stopped fighting and started having a nice meal on their own. You can get a lot of 8th grade food without any effort. Aha, is there anything more wonderful than this? So the centipede found a bush and hid in it. It watched the battlefield as if watching a play. It would be even better if we could have some food and eat while watching the show. Single quote. As soon as the idea came out, a fat and tender peach worm fell to the ground. Centipede felt happy. Today is such a lucky day. Not only is there a grand banquet composed of various races of the 8th grade waiting for me, but even peach bugs can fall in front of me during my free time. Now you can eat and watch a show at the same time. The centipede happily took a bite at the peach insect that was still twisting. Fat, juicy and delicious. Single quote. After eating, Centipede felt something strange in his body. The urge to continue the family line suddenly emerged. After a while, the centipede excitedly rushed into the fight. Lu Qing is so tired. Not only must we beware of the escaping 8th grades, we must also be wary of those who are preparing to pick up the missing ones. But when he thought about the experience packets all over the floor, he was full of motivation. However, it is worth mentioning that there were still 5 8th grade beasts that were injured and fled. One of them is the giant iron-clad bull that is gradually coming out of its psychedelic state. It couldn't figure out why it suddenly had such impulses towards other species, and even wanted to have it with a stinging insect. Even after waking up it felt so surreal. Obviously I am normal and only interested in females. What happened today? Fortunately, the stinging insect struggled hard enough and did not let itself succeed, otherwise. The armored giant bull looked at the natural hard armor on his body. The originally black and shiny armor now had large areas of cracks. Even a pair of legs was rolled into powder by a winged dragonfly. The abdomen is even covered with spikes. When were these thorns inserted? Soon it remembered. It was when he was attacked by a stinging insect, he was pricked by it. Fortunately, there were no fatal injuries. After waking up and still feeling frightened, the armored giant bull decided to escape temporarily. It has strong defense capabilities and strength, coupled with its unique talent skill, Rampage, which really allows it to break out of the encirclement more smoothly. However, before the giant iron-clad bull had time to rejoice, it was blocked by a black shadow. Taking a closer look, he saw that it was one of the praying mantises that was provoking him. What a meeting of enemies. It's you. You're a coward, and you still dare to show up. If it weren't for your agreement, how could I be in such a miserable state and almost be raped? It's unlucky for Mud to think about it. Lu Qing couldn't help but laugh. Ahem, am I here? What the hell, you coward, it's too late. I'm not in good condition right now. I'll come back in a few days to fight you to the death. The giant iron-clad bull limped and tried to escape. Lu Qing drew his sword boldly. The body of the giant iron-clad bull trembled. What do you mean? Of course, keep you. The sword foot strikes quickly and fiercely. The opponent's defense was too strong. Even if there were cracks in the armor, Lu Qing used all his strength and skills to enhance the puncture effect. And the direction he aimed at was also the crack. The blow penetrated smoothly through the crack. The giant armored bull lost its strength and made a tragic sound. If you bring me seeds, just wait for me for 2 days. They are all coated as a praying mantis, and they even have a chicken-feathered creature. When he thought of this Lu Qing, he struck a little harder, stabbed twice at the crack and twisted it around. The giant iron-clad bull was in pain, and its short and thick legs could not support its huge body and weight. It fell directly to the ground, making a dull sound. Grandpa Mantis, I'm convinced. Spare my life. Lu Qing made him shut up with a knife. The battle lasted from morning to evening. We fought from the east of Taolin to the outside of Taolin. The big noise of the 8th grade brawl naturally alarmed many animals. These animals are afraid to avoid them and flee in haste. The sun sets. The mountain has been dyed red. Lu Qing got rid of the last surviving 8th grade creature and was about to take it back to the cave when a buzzing sound came from the air. Turning around to look, a swarm of king bees flew over. They hold tail pins in their hands, obviously on alert. There is also a group of 6th grade board insects on the ground. On the back of the board insects is the 8th grade corpse that was killed in the battle just now. I wonder why there are so few corpses. It turns out that the peaches were picked by the king bee. Single quote. The queen bee is mentally powerful and can explore almost the entire peach forest. There is such a big movement here, it is normal for the queen bee to notice it. After all, the queen bee may be a second-order existence. The leader of the king bee waved the spear in his hand and said, "We are ordered to find the source of the fight and resolve the matter. Do you know what these 8th grades are fighting for? What to do about it? It's just a matter of waiting for the 8th grade race to fight to the death, and then reap the benefits. Besides, if this question is asked of me, the instigator, can I still tell the truth? I don't know at all. As soon as I went out, I saw the giant stinging insect pricking the giant iron-clad bull. Then many races joined the battle, and it soon became chaotic. If I hadn't escaped quickly, I would probably be the one lying on the boardworm now. I originally wanted to catch the leak, but I didn't expect that the commander would do it faster than me." After speaking, he took a few glances at the corpse on the board insect, showing his desire for 8th grade delicacies. With Lu Qing's IQ and acting skills, it's easy to deal with a few king bees. They believed it completely. "Okay, you can go." After the exchange, the leader took the boardworm and the king bee and left. Looking at their backs, Lu Qing spat. "Mud, I have spent so much effort and set up such a big trap, but in the end, you plucked part of the fruits of victory." Although it was almost 1/3 of the experience package, it still made Lu Qing feel very distressed. "If it weren't for the queen bee and the lord of the peach grove standing behind you, I would have sent you back to the west in minutes. After all, this world is all about strength. Wait. After I digest this batch of experience packs, I will let you eat my food and return it to me even more." Lu Qing dragged the last experience pack back. Da Zhuang has been waiting for a long time. Seeing the boss coming back, he hurried to meet him. "Boss, I feel that there are quite a few 8th grade races in the brawl, how come you dragged back so little?" Lu Qing threw the experience pack down, the rest were intercepted by the king bee. "What? This group of shameless little bees." Da Zhuang cursed a few times, but he couldn't feel the air, so he said angrily, "Do you want to kill them?" "I, Da Zhuang, am willing to take the lead and vent my anger for the boss." It just talked big. The king bee is powerful, not to mention the white-minded monkey, the queen bee, and the master of the peach forest. With your 5th grade strength, it's useless for you to be the vanguard. You should improve your grade and advance during this period. Da Zhuang was immediately depressed. That's right. There are too many powerful beings in the peach forest. It's really hard for the two of us to deal with them. Lu Qing walked straight to the experience pack. You should also hurry up and eat. Improving your grade is the right way. You have also made a lot of efforts this time. I have always been clear about rewards and punishments. You can eat these as you like. How much you can eat depends on your stomach." After saying that, he ignored it and started to brush experience on the corpse of the 8th grade. Da Zhuang was refreshed. 8th grade. It is definitely a tonic with great benefits for a 5th grade. Da Zhuang immediately pounced on it and took a bite of the chicken leg he had been salivating for a long time. He gnawed his bloody teeth, Oh my god, it smells so good. 27 8th grade, experience packs. Every bite is a solid 0.1 experience value. The experience is gained at an incredible speed. Anyway, there is no need to chew, and the energy is directly converted after entering the mouth, so the speed is naturally fast. Da Zhuang is full. The huge energy contained in the 8th grade makes him sleepy. Da Zhuang forced himself to take a look. Originally, the cave was full of experience packs, but now there are only a few left. Boss, your eating speed is still fast enough. I haven't finished eating one, but you have eaten more than half. The key is that your stomach is not even visible. It is not the first time it has seen it. After saying this, it leaned against the stone bed with satisfaction. Well, I can't do it anymore. I'll take a nap first. Lu Qing glanced at it and then began to focus on gaining experience. After gaining 17 pieces in a row, Lu Qing's experience slot is full. Sure enough, as soon as the 18th piece was eaten, a prompt sound came. Energy accumulation is complete. Do you want to upgrade the grade? Yes. Single quote. Chapter 31. The warm current then flowed to all parts of the body. Soon the upgrade was completed. Race: Black Blade Mantis. Rank: Low rank 9th rank 0.3 1000. Skills: Deadly Sting evolvable. Swift Flight evolvable. After this upgrade, his body has reached 2 meters. The blade foot has also changed. The previous blade foot was as black as ink, and there were more obvious silver lines. The color of the blade foot has not changed, but the silver lines are more obvious and more complicated. It looks like mercury is flowing on the blade foot. These lines seem to have some rules. Lu Qing looked at his secondary foot. The tip of the secondary foot was like a dagger before, which enhanced the grip and had a certain attack power. After this upgrade, the dagger at the tip of the secondary foot became a little longer, and some spikes grew on the back of the secondary foot. After the upgrade, Lu Qing started to brush experience on the remaining experience packs again. However, due to the upgrade, the energy and experience points extracted have become much less. Finally, when there were only 3 left, he stopped. The remaining ones can be left for Da Zhuang. After all, the peach forest is extremely dangerous, and Da Zhuang's 5th grade strength is really not enough. It is the right way to leave these to it and let it strengthen its strength. The peach forest is definitely a good place to grow. A large number of species live here, and there are rich evolutionary resources. After Lu Qing was promoted to the 9th grade, his strength in the peach forest was considered upper class. After leaving the cave alone, he explored to the west. As soon as he went out, he met 3 iron-headed crickets. These 3 iron-headed crickets are all 7th grade strength. It is said that this species has a very fierce temper and a very stubborn head. It is the kind that is fearless and goes head-on. When I first came to the peach forest, I encountered one, so Lu Qing was ready to use the knife. At first, the 3 iron-headed crickets looked like they were not going to give in to anyone, and they were ready to fight without any nonsense. However, they immediately wilted when they saw Lu Qing's 2 1.3-meter-long swords. They shrank their bodies and pretended not to see anything. It turned out that the iron-headed crickets were not completely stubborn. They knew to be cowardly because their strength was too different. Lu Qing deliberately moved closer to them and said in a cold voice, "You walked into my territory." Ah! The 3 iron-headed crickets immediately became uneasy. "Don't be angry, we are just looking for brothers." Brothers. Iron-headed crickets also have the concept of brothers. Lu Qing asked curiously, "What brother?" "Our little brother, the strength of the 6th rank. An arrow bird told us that it had seen our little brother around here, but he was entangled by a mantis." Lu Qing instantly understood that they were looking for the iron-headed cricket that he had killed. "You little brother has been eaten by me." The 3 iron-headed crickets were stunned for a moment, and then took the initiative to defend Lu Qing. "It's not you, it's definitely not you, because the arrow bird told us that the mantis was only at the 7th level, and you are already at the 9th level, how could it be you?" They kept calling him "you," showing great respect. When Lu Qing killed the fool, he was indeed at the 7th level. He reached the 9th level in just a few days, which was indeed beyond the comprehension of the iron-headed crickets. "Forget it, you still can't understand it even if I tell you for a long time, I'd better send you down to ask it in person." The iron-headed crickets went down before they understood what "going down" meant. 7th level iron-headed crickets, one by one. After the 3 small experience packs were brushed off, Lu Qing shook his head secretly. Now the 3 7th level iron-headed crickets can only provide 3 points of blood and flesh value. 1 point for each. If you want to advance again, you need to hunt 1,000. It seems that prey of the same level can be promoted the fastest. Lu Qing is just exploring casually. Along the way, he encountered 37 species of the 7th rank, plus 4 of the 8th rank. All of these became experience points, and the experience bar increased slightly. He was not in a hurry. Anyway, the peach forest was rich in species and there was a lot of them. If he kept on brushing, his progress would definitely not be slow. 2 days. 2 days later, the 10-mile radius of the cave had become a high-quality vacuum zone. All species above the 7th rank were brushed by Lu Qing. There was still communication between the species in the peach forest. They were very panicked. Many species had already regarded this area as a restricted area. This was a hard time for Lu Qing. Overnight, there was no hair in the surrounding 10 miles. Even the peach worms on the peach trees moved away at night. There was even a fat and pink peach worm running away with its family. Lu Qing directly stopped it with his sword foot. The peach worm was trembling with fear. Why do we have to leave? The peach worm trembled. There is a hungry demon here, we are afraid. Lu Qing was naturally not interested in these 3rd and 4th grade peach worms, and raised his knife foot to let them go. The hungry demon must be me. In the past 2 days, his experience bar has reached 1/3. All the insects and strange beasts within a 10-mile range have run away. If you want to continue to brush, you can only go deeper. However, that will get closer to the Lord of the Peach Forest in the core area, and there will be a certain risk of alarming the Lord of the Peach Forest. Lu Qing reluctantly retreated into the cave, intending to make a good plan. Da Zhuang in the cave was sleeping soundly. Yesterday, it woke up once and successfully reached the 6th level, but after eating the corpse of the 8th level exotic beast, the huge energy contained in it made it fall into a deep sleep again. It is estimated that it will be the 7th level when it wakes up again. Da Zhuang's advancement is secondary. At present, it is still necessary to consider whether to enter the core area close to the Lord of the Peach Forest. Although the 3 white wise monkeys are smart, their strength is average. After all, I have good wisdom and I am not afraid of 3 against 1. The real powerful ones are the Lord of the Peach Forest and the Queen Bee. The Queen Bee has a strong exploratory mental power. If it is too close and locked, it will be really troublesome. The peach forest is very large, and it is not impossible to deliberately bypass it. It is safer to develop steadily. Bypass the core area for the time being. After making up his mind, Lu Qing left the cave again. There is 8th grade food in the cave. Da Zhuang can eat it when he wakes up. As long as the cave entrance is sealed, it can also prevent him from becoming the poop of other beasts during his sleep. Lu Qing chose a huge stone. This stone is very heavy, and only beasts with 9th grade or 8th grade strength can move it. After Lu Qing moved the huge stone, he thought of another problem. If I die, will Da Zhuang be unable to leave and starve to death? Then he spat. What a short circuit in my brain, I'm dead, why should I care whether it starves to death? Anyway, there are no beasts within 10 miles that I can take a fancy to, so I just flap my wings and glide to it. Gliding is naturally very fast. After bypassing the heart of the peach forest, Lu Qing landed. Sure enough, here again, he saw traces of strange beasts and insects. Lu Qing kept in mind the mission of brushing experience and began to look for the target. 2 7th grade fireflies were huddled together to celebrate. The larger firefly breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, the arrow bird reminded us that we ran fast enough. Otherwise, we would have been eaten by the hungry demon. The smaller firefly responded, by the way, it said that the hungry demon was a certain race. Mantis, you can't even remember this, how come you're in the peach forest? The smaller firefly pointed to a place not far away. Mantis, I haven't seen it before, is it the kind over there? The larger firefly turned its head and looked, and was scared to death. Oh my god, what a big mantis, run faster. It twisted its butt and started to spit fire to help. However, within 10 meters, no species has a faster reaction speed than Lu Qing's attack speed. With one cut, the two fireflies were cut into 4 pieces, and the flames on their butts turned into a wisp of smoke and dissipated before they could be sprayed out. After brushing off the experience of these two, Lu Qing started looking for targets again. During the past 3 days, Lu Qing was frantically brushing experience in the peach forest. His experience was flying, while other races were running for their lives. Species below the 7th grade could not provide blood and flesh value, so they did not suffer any damage. The 7th and 8th grades were really unable to resist and could not escape, so they could only become Lu Qing's experience packs. Species that can reach the 7th and 8th grades have seen all kinds of disasters. Hunting is all for survival and evolution. It is said that eating 1 or 2 prey a day is the limit of the stomach. But this mantis could not eat enough, and even hunted nearly 100 7th grade mantises in one day, and ate them all. This is a bit horrifying. This kind of super appetite mantis has an attack power beyond imagination. Who among the alien insects cannot panic? Lu Qing even got a nickname because of this. Giant Stomach Butcher. Single quote. Of course, no matter what they call him, he is still busy for the great cause of experience. On the 4th day, Lu Qing began to worry again. The experience bar was already half full, and he was getting closer and closer to the upgrade, but today, most of the day had passed without encountering a 7th grade or 8th grade species. This is a bit abnormal. With the rich resources of the peach forest, it should be enough for me to reach the secondary level. But after most of the day, I didn't see even a hair of the 7th grade or 8th grade alien beast insect race. He had reason to suspect that those high-grade species had escaped or hidden. Lu Qing took a little effort to catch a 6th grade arrow bird for questioning. The arrow bird is extremely fast and well-informed, so it must know something. After being caught by Lu Qing, the body of the arrow bird was already shaking round. I ask you, why are all those species of the 7th and 8th grades gone? The arrow bird trembled in response. They were frightened by the bottomless appetite of the giant stomach butcher, and they all ran away. Where did they run to? The inner area of the peach forest. Lu Qing let go of the other party and let him leave. The inner area, with the big peach tree where the master of the peach forest is located as the core, is considered the inner area within 10 miles. In the past few days, I have been looking for prey around the outer area, deliberately avoiding the core area where the master of the peach forest is located. These species of the 7th and 8th grades probably also saw this and fled directly in. In fact, only about 1 kilometer away from the master of the peach forest is the core forbidden area, and there are no restrictions in other places. No species dare to go to the core area, but they dare to go to the inner area. I also carefully considered and chose to hunt in the outer area, but I didn't expect that this would make the inner area a place where those prey hide. In this situation now, if you don't enter the inner area, I'm afraid you won't be able to catch prey at all. The queen bee has strong mental power and may have mental markings. If she enters the inner circle, she will be detected by the other party. However, in order to upgrade, she still has to take risks. After a little consideration, Lu Qing flapped his wings and flew to the inner circle of the peach forest. Luckily, he found 3 7th grade grasshoppers not long after entering the inner circle. 2 white-witted monkeys climbed up the tree very flexibly, one in front and one behind, pushing aside the leaves that blocked the view. Behind the dense branches and leaves, a huge hanging beehive appeared in the field of vision. The 2 white-witted monkeys had already landed steadily under the beehive while swinging. One of them looked up and asked, "Queen bee, what do you want to call us for?" Then a soft voice sounded. "I have detected that a species with the strength of the 9th grade has entered the peach forest." The queen bee has strong mental power. Not only can she control the bee colony, but she can even release mental power to cover and sense the entire peach forest. Of course, this ability is very powerful, but it cannot see through everything in the peach forest, and there are many restrictions when using it. Unless there is a lot of time for mental marking. Only after the alien beasts and insects are mentally marked, their positions can be accurately sensed at the lowest cost. The 9th grade alien beasts and insects rashly breaking into the peach forest are a potential threat to the queen bee and the 3 white wise monkeys. In the entire peach forest, there are only 2 9th grade beasts, not counting the 3 white wise monkeys. Moreover, those two are already well aware of the power of the Lord of Taoyuan, and they are existences that can be controlled. The new 9th grade here will be a huge trouble if they wander around. The queen bee's mental power is very strong, but her intelligence is average. Therefore, after the queen bee sensed the emergence of a new 9th grade species, she notified Marquis Bai Zhiling to let them make plans in advance. The two white wise monkeys looked at each other. The new 9th grade species. While they were thinking, another white wise monkey also climbed up the tree. 3 white wise monkeys gathered together. Queen bee spoke again. In the past few days, the marks of the 7th and 8th level bugs and alien beasts have disappeared, indicating that they have been preyed on. It is most likely the new 9th level species that did it, and at the beginning it only wandered around the periphery, but today we have entered the inner circle. You must make a plan quickly to avoid causing trouble. Quote. After thinking about it, the older white monkey held the branch with one hand and said, "Then can you mark its location?" No. Its mental mark comes and goes, and every time it is sensed, it only lasts for a moment. It is impossible to arrange it accurately. If this 9th grade one stayed for a month, it would be possible to analyze its mental state and make a mark, but now it is impossible to do so. Yes, but I can make a rough judgment based on the direction of the disappearance of the 7th grade and 8th grade species. The older white wise monkey nodded slowly. Once our secret is discovered, trouble will occur. We must scare that 9th grade beast as soon as possible, especially now that the blood Ganoderma is about to mature. Queen bee's voice transmission then sounded, "Yes, there must be no mistakes at this juncture. Go find the 9th grade one quickly." After asking about the approximate location, the white-minded monkey immediately led nearly 100 giant king bees and pounced in 3 directions in the direction provided by the queen bee. In order to gain experience, Lu Qing dared to attack any species. Even when night fell, he continued his great cause tirelessly. At night, more than 70% of the beasts and insects were resting, but this was the peak period for Lu Qing to hunt. He stopped suddenly while looking for prey. There was a hole diagonally under the peach tree. The hole was covered with weeds and was relatively hidden, but he still found it. Based on the experience he had accumulated in recent days, he directly judged that the rabbit living in the hole should be a rabbit. The rabbit has red hair, thick hind legs, and forelimbs with claws of carnivorous animals, and fangs, which can stand and fight like dinosaurs. The most important thing is that this is a carnivorous beast. In general, the strength of the rabbit is about the 8th grade, and the body size is about 1 meter. He has already killed one. But the diameter of this hole is more than 2 meters, which means that this rabbit should have broken through the 8th grade in terms of strength. Could it be that he encountered the legendary 9th grade rabbit? In addition to the white-witted monkey and the queen bee, there are 2 9th grade exotic beasts in the peach forest. One is the Pegasus, the other is the devil rabbit. Under normal circumstances, the probability of winning or losing a battle between different races of the same level cannot be estimated. Lu Qing does not fight a battle without confidence. But it is different now in the middle of the night. The devil rabbit is very powerful, but that is during the day. Its vision at night can be understood as high myopia plus night blindness. It is not a sure thing to deal with a nearsighted devil rabbit. Lu Qing gently pushed aside the weeds, preparing to kill the same grade and brush a large experience pack. However, this slight movement was still noticed by the devil rabbit. With a whoosh, a red shadow rushed out. The front paw grabbed in his direction. Lu Qing reacted quickly, using the big knife foot to block, and the other knife foot followed suit. The devil rabbit has no vision, and when it noticed the attack, it had been hit in the abdomen by the knife foot. The red fur was cut open, and blood flowed out instantly. It screamed and turned and ran. Its strong hind legs made it run very fast, like a wild horse running away, and then, it hit a big tree and bounced out. This scene almost made Lu Qing laugh. Waiting for the rabbit. My ancestors never lied to me. He quickly stepped forward, ready to take the opportunity to bleed the rabbit. However, its strong vitality was also revealed, and it turned around and ran away in the opposite direction. Lu Qing hurriedly used the flying skill to close the distance. The rabbit was indeed fast, and Lu Qing's speed burst barely kept it from losing. It ran, he chased. It was fast, but it liked to hit trees. This also made the distance between the two closer and closer. The rabbit couldn't see, but it could hear the vibration of its wings. Hearing the sound of relentless pursuit, it also became anxious. The voice transmission followed. Brother Pegasus, you and I are friends. We have kept to ourselves for many years. Why did you suddenly attack me? It thought it was Pegasus, who was also of the 9th rank, who was attacking it. There are only a few people in the entire Peach Forest who can pose a threat to it. Lu Qing did not hide it. Your brother Pegasus asked me to come over to say hello. Don't run away. Let's have a good chat. It's not Pegasus. The devil rabbit panicked even more. In the dark night without vision, facing a strange species of the same level, it has no chance of winning. Chat. Come up and give me a knife, and still chat. Chat your uncle. If you have the guts, come during the day. After the exchange, the devil rabbit ran faster and crashed more badly. Lu Qing teased a few words during the pursuit, intending to disturb the other party's attention, but he didn't expect that the devil rabbit had no desire to communicate at all and ran away. Gradually, Lu Qing realized that something was wrong. The direction this guy ran was towards the core area. The core area is where the Lord of the Peach Forest is. That is a secondary existence. Brother Rabbit, are you blind? The core area is ahead. The rabbit panicked. The Lord of the Peach Forest is definitely a terrifying existence. But in this case, if you don't run to the core, you will die. The rabbit gritted its teeth secretly and really fought. The core area is better. If you have the courage, come over. We will die together. It covered its head and continued to run to the core area. Lu Qing was helpless. My luck was a bit bad today. It was not easy to find the blind rabbit, but the other party actually ran to the core area. In the entire Peach Forest, the 7th and 8th grade beasts and insects were almost swept away by me, and the experience value was only a little more than 100 points. If I want to gain experience again, I can only attack the 9th grade. This blind rabbit in the night is a rare opportunity. If I let it go, I don't know when I can be promoted. The brave will die of overeating and the timid will die of starvation. Give it a try. If you can't alarm the Lord of the Peach Forest, it's better. Even if you alarm it, the worst thing is to turn around and run away. Lu Qing increased his speed, hoping to severely injure the rabbit before entering the core area. While running and chasing, they entered the core area one after the other. The rabbit was even luckier, and it actually jumped into the bushes without any vision. Lu Qing paid attention to the surrounding movements and chased after it carefully. The weeds were really tall, and the nearly 2-meter-tall rabbit hid in the weeds without revealing its body at all. Lu Qing could only fly into the air, but he couldn't find any trace under the cover of weeds. How could he let go of the fat meat that was right next to his mouth? He began to look carefully. At this moment, a voice that was obviously female suddenly came to his mind. How dare you to break into the core area? Do you want to live? The voice was clear as if it was beside his ears. Lu Qing's heart trembled. The queen bee discovered it. Single quote. Only the queen bee with strong mental power can have such a voice. The queen bee discovered that the master of the Peach Forest had already known it. He turned around and wanted to escape from here. He had already reached the edge of the weeds between the flapping of his wings. But he stopped his wings and landed steadily on the ground after a thought. The law of the jungle is very cruel. In most cases, species never fight each other. But except for the obviously powerful voice of the queen bee, there were no other abnormalities or unusual movements. If a powerful being like the Lord of the Peach Forest finds a mantis intruding into its forbidden core area, it will definitely be furious and attack. But there is no movement at all. This is obviously abnormal. After Lu Qing stopped, the voice of the queen bee came again. This time the voice transmission was even colder. Since you are a first-time offender, run for your life. Otherwise, you will be smashed into a pulp by the Lord of the Peach Forest. Ordinary species will definitely run for their lives with their tails between their legs when hearing this threatening voice transmission. Lu Qing has no tail, and will not escape. He just wants to test. Seeing that he did not move, there is a hidden urgency in the voice transmission. You, an outside intruder, do you know that the Lord of the Peach Forest is a terrifying existence of secondary strength? You, with your 9th grade strength, will be killed instantly in front of it, and there will be no trace of you left. This is a typical example of a strong and weak person. Lu Qing is no longer panicked. If the Lord of the Peach Forest is really that powerful, He should have appeared long ago, instead of the queen bee making such a fuss. He previously guessed that the queen bee might be a second-level existence, but now it seems that this is not the case. The queen bee has a strong mental power. When she realized that she had entered the core area, she did not appear immediately to drive her away. This means that she is either inconvenient or her real strength is not good enough. Lu Qing believes that it is a problem of strength. There is no doubt that the queen bee is mentally powerful, but its true strength is questionable. There is also the Lord of the Peach Grove. He even broke into the core area and the Lord of Peach Grove didn't even respond. This is also questionable. It was precisely because of this that Lu Qing began to test again. Leave now, leave now. Now the terror rabbit is no longer important. Uncovering the secret of the Lord of the Peach Grove and reaping huge benefits is what is important. The direction he was facing was their lair. Queen Bee's message came again, you are going in the wrong direction. You will disturb the Lord of the Peach Grove. Lu Qing ignored the other party and walked forward. Do you want to die? You're just a 9th grade mantis. The Lord of the Peach Forest can crush you to death just as easily as a peach insect. If you dare to take another step forward, your bones will be buried. The more aggressive you scream, the more guilty you feel. Lu Qing continued to move forward. He soon discovered that as he headed west, the queen bee's transmission was obviously more panicked. He was keenly aware that there must be something good in the west that queen bee cares about very much. The queen bee had no idea that her threatening message had exposed a big problem. It simply thought that the mantis was lucky and kept approaching the blood Ganoderma. A treasure like blood Ganoderma carries huge opportunities, and this mantis must not be allowed to discover it. Now 3 white smart monkeys are out searching, and they have sent messenger bees to look for notices. Now that time is running out, it can only let the soldier bees take the lead. Even if it can't cause any harm to the 9th grade mantis, delaying time is still a good thing. Nearly 100 giant bees rushed out of the huge hive. They hold bee stings in their secondary feet, obviously in an offensive posture. Kill the intruder. The queen bee gave an order, and all the soldier bees flew towards the west. Lu Qing heard the flapping of wings in the air and knew it was the arrival of the king bee. These soldiers are all of the 6th grade, and only the leading commander is of the 7th or 8th grade. It's really not easy to deal with them. The 2 saber legs would kill this large swarm of king bees by chopping melons and vegetables. The queen bee sensed that the soldier bees were dying so quickly, and couldn't help but feel panicked. Praying mantises are indeed a species good at attacking. Nearly 100 king bees didn't even have time to stop them. Although it is anxious, it is also helpless. He could only spread his mental power and pay attention to Lu Qing's movements at all times. Hope that the other party will never discover their secrets. There are many soldiers coming to block it. They block the way forward, like signposts. Lu Qing almost went crazy with joy. The queen bee is indeed mentally powerful but has low intelligence. Without these soldier bees, it would have been extremely troublesome for him to find them. Unexpectedly, the queen bee directly arranged these signs for himself. This unknown thing told Lu Qing, there are heavy troops guarding the treasures here, you must not come here. Single quote. The 2 blades directly harvested these soldiers and slaughtered the signs. There is not a single blade of grass here, all that is exposed is yellow-brown soil. In the middle of this area is a Ganoderma lucidum that exudes a faint blood light. Lu Qing felt happy, this is what the queen bee protects. The soldiers in the sky rushed towards him desperately, seemingly determined to protect this thing to the death. Lu Qing raised his knife and lowered it, and the powerful force directly tore open the bodies of the 3 soldier bees. Dozens of elite soldier bees turned into fallen souls in just 3 minutes. The queen bee can't care about the reduction of soldier bees now. The only thing she cares about most is the blood Ganoderma lucidum. If you dare to take 1 step closer to the blood Ganoderma, you will die miserably. Lu Qing didn't pay any attention to it. This is the property of the Lord of the Peach Grove. He will not let you go. You will be beaten into a pulp. At the same time, a roar came. There were only roars, but no movement. This time Lu Qing was completely relieved. Queen Bee's message came again, the Lord of the Peach Grove has become angry, and you will die without a burial place. Lu Qing, on the other hand, had no interest in talking to him anymore. Came directly in front of blood Ganoderma. The blood Ganoderma is very strange, like a small blood-red umbrella, but there is a beating at the top, like a heart. Lu Qing pulled out the panel. Race: blood Ganoderma, growth stage, 9-10 feet. Strength: none, currently the first level of the second level. Introduction: a strange plant that grows and is poured with blood and flesh as nutrients. It has blood life but no consciousness. It contains a large amount of blood energy and is an excellent tonic suitable for most species. Single quote. After reading the introduction, Lu Qing understood. This is a kind of heavenly material and earthly treasure that has no strength but contains huge blood energy. The energy contained in it is comparable to that of a second-level, first-level alien beast or Zerg. This is already comparable to the second-order first grade before it is mature. When it is fully mature, it will not reach the second-order second grade or even higher. It's simply a huge experience package. It's not all work in vain. Lu Qing stretched out his blade and took a bite directly at the blood Ganoderma. Get flesh value plus 0.5 feet. It's actually 0.5. It is indeed a super experience package. I was secretly happy. Don't eat it. Please, don't eat it. The blood Ganoderma lucidum is not fully mature yet. It will take 10 days to become fully mature. By then its efficacy will increase 5 times. It is a complete waste if you eat it now. Quote. Don't eat it. The blood Ganoderma can be counted as your share. When it is fully mature, the energy contained in your share will definitely be more than what you eat now. Lu Qing was very clear. He also gave himself a share. Such a natural treasure, how could it be given to himself? It is possible that they will join forces to kill me. With this IQ, you still want to deceive me. The queen bee is just stalling for time. Lu Qing started eating directly. Get blood and flesh value plus 0.5 feet. Get blood and flesh value plus 0.5 feet. The queen bee's heart was bleeding. For this blood Ganoderma, it stayed here for 17 years. It even let itself cooperate with the white wise monkey and hibernate under the master of the peach forest. It was all for the blood Ganoderma to break through to the secondary level. Seeing that the blood Ganoderma was about to mature, it was intercepted by a mantis. How could it not be impatient? At this moment, the queen bee sensed the white wise monkey returning quickly. It immediately felt like it saw hope. Lu Qing naturally heard the movement. 3 powerful 9th grade auras were approaching quickly. 3 white wise monkeys are back. The white wise monkeys are weak among the 9th grade monkeys, but they are 9th grade after all. And there are 3 of them. It is not likely that he will win against 3 of them alone. There is only one chance to have the blood Ganoderma, and Lu Qing will certainly not let it go. He made a prompt decision and stretched out his knife foot to pull the blood Ganoderma off. Then he spread his wings without saying a word and used the flying skill to accelerate. The queen bee, who felt all this with her mental power, almost vomited blood. If the blood Ganoderma is pulled off, it will be cut off from the blood source and there will be no possibility of growing to maturity. Nearly 20 years of suffering, shattered in an instant. Mantis, you are dead. You can't escape. We will spare no effort to hunt you down. Grind you to ashes. Lu Qing responded while accelerating, there is nothing to mourn. The queen bee was almost crazy. We will kill you, we will kill you. The 3 white wise monkeys knew what had happened when they saw the empty wasteland and the corpses of soldier bees. They were furious. The blood Ganoderma that had been carefully cultivated for so many years was about to mature, but a mantis ruined the plan. Chase. The white wise monkeys made full use of their climbing and leaping skills to shuttle through the forest. Praying mantis, leave the blood Ganoderma and I will spare your life. Lu Qing has wings and can fly. He flew higher and higher, and the queen bee and the white wise monkeys almost had no threat to him. At this point, they still spared my life. I'll give it to you if you catch up with me. What's the point of chasing? They don't have wings. The 3 white wise monkeys stopped on the tree branch and grinned at the mantis that was gradually flying away. It's all our fault for neglecting to take care of the blood Ganoderma. The older and larger white wise monkey sighed helplessly. If we leave one to guard, I'm afraid it won't be able to resist the mantis that is good at attacking, and it may even lose its life. Another one stamped its feet and asked, this mantis is really brave. The lord of the peach forest has already roared, but it is not afraid at all. Most species will flee when they hear the roar of the lower level, but this mantis didn't even move. The older white-witted monkey suddenly remembered something. I think this mantis looks familiar. It seems to be the one that moved to the peach forest a few days ago. It shouldn't be. The two that just came, one ate a golden monkey to be promoted from the 7th rank to the 8th rank, and one was the 5th rank, but this one is the 9th rank. The older one shook his head slightly. Is it possible that this 9th rank was promoted from the 8th rank? It's even more impossible. He was promoted from the 7th rank to the 9th rank in just a few days. This promotion speed has never been heard of. It's more important to let the queen bee track down his whereabouts now. If it's too late, I'm afraid he won't even be able to save the dregs of the blood Ganoderma. No matter what, he must be killed. 3 white-witted monkeys came to the hive. Did you leave a spiritual mark? The queen bee responded immediately. It was left, but the other party has left the peach forest. I can't sense it anymore. After a short gap, the queen bee complained, if you come back earlier, the mantis will not be able to escape. The smallest white-witted monkey is the most irritable one. It jumped up and down. Were we to come back earlier? If the location you provided was not inaccurate, would we have missed it? And your useless soldier bees, it would be fine if we could not stop them, but they actually led the mantis to find the blood Ganoderma. How could we, who are so smart, become partners with a fool like you? The queen bee's voice was sharp due to anger. It's because you are so self-righteous that you think no species dares to step into the core area, which leads to such lax guarding. You took my elite away, and you dare to say that I am useless. Quote. The queen bee's intelligence is not very good, but her mouth cannon skills are definitely not bad. A group of soldier bees rushed out of the hive, holding their stingers to surround the 3 white wise monkeys. Seeing that they were about to lose control and kill each other, the oldest white wise monkey spoke. Blood Ganoderma is the key to our advancement. We are all responsible for it being stolen by that mantis. No one wants to see this. It has already happened. We can't change anything by fighting each other. We might as well think of a way to see if we can make up for it. The queen bee's mood has also stabilized a little. How to make up for it? The mantis has already flown out of the peach forest, what else can we do? The older one's eyes revealed a fierce look. The safest and most convenient blood Ganoderma has been missed. If you want to advance to the 2nd level, you can only take risks now. The other 2 monkeys trembled and looked at it in disbelief. The queen bee's voice transmission also revealed some panic. We are not sure. We didn't catch the rabbit, but we got a great bargain like blood Ganoderma. It's worth it. Find a place to hide and eat the blood Ganoderma. You can definitely break through to the 2nd level. At this moment, the sound behind changed. Turning his head, a huge rock came. The power of the rock was weakened, and the accuracy was much worse, so there was no need to dodge. Looking at the direction of the trajectory, it should be thrown by the master of the peach forest. Sure enough, there was a roar afterwards. Lu Qing turned his eyes away. The lord of the peach forest and the queen bee must have been restricted in some way, so they couldn't stop me from taking the blood Ganoderma. Otherwise, with the existence of the lord of the peach forest at a lower level, as long as he showed up, I would have no choice but to flee in a hurry. Lu Qing focused on finding a place to stay temporarily. There were continuous mountains outside the peach forest in the west, so it was not difficult to find a place to hide. There was a waterfall in front. You could vaguely see a cave behind the waterfall. Lu Qing glided over there. The water flow of the waterfall was not fast, and he easily reached the cave. The cave is full of uneven rocks. There are no traces of animal activity. It is indeed a clean place. After sorting out a clearing, Lu Qing put down the blood Ganoderma and began to collect the super experience pack. Get flesh value plus 0.5 feet. Get flesh value plus 0.5 feet. Blood Ganoderma increases experience points. After completing less than half of it, the experience bar is already full. A beep ensues. Energy accumulation is complete. Do you want to advance? Single quote. Above the low-level 9th level is the 2nd level 1st level. Yes, the energy accumulated in an instant completely enveloped Lu Qing from the inside out. He was completely wrapped into a cocoon. I am not a butterfly, making cocoons and drying wool. Weak complaints are of no use. The cocoon tightened into an oval shape. Da Zhuang woke up leisurely. The entrance to the cave is sealed, and you can barely see inside. Boss, I called a few times but got no response. Dazhuang was in a mess. No, when you go out and seal the entrance. Fortunately, I left food. The next second, Dazhuang cried angrily, no, this has changed, okay. Although I am a praying mantis, I still have to eat healthily. How to eat something that tastes bad? I won't eat even if I starve. Hey, it tastes pretty good. It smells so good. It ate and slept in the cave, but it didn't know that the entire peach forest had issued an unlimited hunt for the entire mantis species. 7 days later, inside the waterfall cave, Lu Qing regained consciousness and struggled to break free from the cocoon. He immediately called up the panel. Race, Blood Shadow Mantis. Equal level. Second level first grade 12 1/1000. Skill, Blood Shadow Crushing Strike, Strength plus 50%, Swift Strike can evolve. Blood Shadow Flying, Flying plus 30%, Swift Flying can evolve. Talent, Stealth Change Body Color, Hide Body Shape and Breath, difficult to detect. It is indeed the second level, and its strength has been greatly enhanced from before. Lu Qing checked the changes in body shape. The previous body size was about 2 meters, but after this advancement, the body size has not changed much. What really changes is the color. The color of the body has always been light green before. No matter how the sword feet change, the color of the body has not changed much. But after advancing to the second level this time, the color of the body turned into blood red. The blade's feet are still dark black, with silver lines all over them, forming an inexplicable pattern. When he dropped the blade foot on the stone, the color of the silver thread quickly changed to a stone-like blue-gray, and then the silver thread spread quickly, but in an instant he turned completely blue-gray. This is the new talent, Concealment. According to the introduction of the system, Stealth can not only achieve visual invisibility, but also seal the breath and isolate the mental power. Races without eyes cannot easily detect it. The mantis has high attack power and can become invisible. It has all the 6 attributes. Lu Qing practiced several times and was able to skillfully use his talent to hide. Next he tried the newly evolved skills. The first is Blood Shadow Crash. Before the advancement, the skill only changed its name, resulting in a relatively limited increase. However, after this advancement, data appeared on the increase. This skill can increase the attack power by 50%. Mantis is originally good at attacking. After this increase, the destructive power caused by the attack power will be extremely terrifying within the same level and quality. He used a boulder as an imaginary enemy and activated his skill. During the charging process, the silver thread turned blood red and completely covered the black blade feet. With a movement of his body, he reached the target in an instant. The blood red blade cut across the boulder. Lu Qing turned around and saw that the blood red residual image gradually dissipated. The huge boulder was also divided into 2 halves at this time. Speed, strength, and sharpness have all been greatly improved. Even defensive species may not be able to withstand the short-range burst. He began to try the Blood Shadow Flying. As soon as he used the skill, an afterimage appeared on his body, and he flew out of the cave in an instant. Lu Qing felt that the speed was more than 3 or 4 times faster than the previous burst. At this speed, even birds of the same level and quality that are good at flying can catch up. Of course, it still has shortcomings in terms of flight endurance. Lu Qing returned to the cave. After promotion, it's time to eat the remaining blood Ganoderma. Although he was promoted this time, the experience given by blood Ganoderma has not decreased. Get flesh value plus 0.5 feet. Get flesh value plus 0.5 feet. After eating the remaining blood Ganoderma, the experience bar increased a lot and became 410 1/1000. There are less than 600 experience points left. After the upgrade is completed and the strength is enhanced, it's time to return to the Peach Grove to see what the Lord of the Peach Grove is all about. Lu Qing fluttered his wings and left the cave, heading straight for the peach forest. Durarabits are very irritable. A few days ago, it was attacked by a mantis at night with almost no vision, and almost lost its life. Fortunately, it escaped by hiding in the weeds. As a 9th grade beast, he is an absolute powerhouse in the peach forest. How has he ever suffered such a loss? The dread rabbit vows to find the mantis and have a head-on confrontation with it to rebuild his reputation and avenge his shame. These days, it has been looking for it with a curse. As long as it sees a mantis, even if it is a female mantis of the 3rd grade, it will tear it into pieces to vent its hatred. Today, the sun is bright, and its vision has reached its peak. The wounds on its body have completely healed, and its physical condition is also at its peak. So it is particularly irritable. Where are all the mantises dead? Come out to your rabbit master, let me tear you into pieces. With supervision, it saw a 4th grade water-spraying cicada. The powerful speed burst out from its strong hind legs, and it jumped up and ran straight to the water-spraying cicada on the treetop. The cicada lying on the tree was scared to piss. Rabbit master, look carefully, I am a cicada, not a mantis. Strength is respected, there is no reason to talk, I just see your mantis spirit, you are a mantis in cicada skin. The strong and short forelimbs instantly grabbed the water-spraying cicada, and tore it into pieces with a little force. After falling down, it ate the lean meat in one bite and threw it on the ground. However, when it raised its head and prepared to continue to vent its anger on the Zerg, it found something falling down. It stared and found that it was a mantis. The spirit of the rabbit was lifted. This one is so big, it must be the mantis that attacked me that night. What a narrow road for enemies. Today, your rabbit master will let you know what regret is. Lu Qing naturally saw the rabbit. What a coincidence. I met this rabbit just after entering the peach forest. He landed steadily. Hey, is the rabbit's wound healed? The rabbit was immediately furious, it was you who attacked a few days ago. Lu Qing nodded his triangular head without hesitation. It's me, what do you think? The rabbit jumped up, his eyes were bloodshot, and he looked like an enemy meeting. What do you think? I want to fight you. I want to tear you into pieces in an upright manner. Lu Qing said indifferently. Okay, are you ready? The rabbit didn't quite understand. What do you mean by ready? Be eaten. As soon as the voice transmission fell, Lu Qing exerted his strength instantly. He was also a 2nd level existence, so of course he didn't need to use skills to deal with a 9th level beast. Even without using skills, the speed was very fast. The rabbit's eyes blurred, and he just felt the strong wind coming. Instinctively made its muscles work hard to dodge, but its speed was too slow. Before it jumped, the dark knife foot had pierced its chest. At this time, the rabbit's eyes changed from doubt to fear. You, 2nd level, how is this possible? For a 9th level creature, the power of the 2nd level is beyond imagination. Otherwise, with its temper, it would not be scared by the Lord of the Peach Forest. The mantis that chased it that night was definitely a 9th level creature, and it could be completely sure of this. But why did it advance from the 9th level to the 2nd level in just a few days? This is totally unreasonable. You should know that this 9th grade rabbit has been stuck in this realm for 20 years, and has not yet reached the threshold of advancing to the secondary stage. However, this mantis has surpassed its own accumulation of more than 20 years in just a few days. Lu Qing's blade foot nailed it to the ancient tree. That's it. Is this what you said about tearing me into pieces in an upright manner? At this time, the rabbit's eyes were much clearer. Actually, I was joking. Yes, a joke. Lu Qing swung his blade foot and cut off its rabbit head. Your joke cost you your life. Looking at the dying rabbit head, Lu Qing felt a little regretful. It's a pity that there are no peppers and peppercorns in this world. Otherwise, there would be a spicy rabbit head. The 9th grade rabbit was killed, and the next step was to brush its experience. Lu Qing ate a few bites, but there was no hint at all. He didn't believe it and ate a few more bites, but there was still no hint. He understood. After advancing to the secondary stage, experience can only be gained through secondary species. What a good 9th grade experience pack, but there is no experience. Waste is not allowed. Lu Qing suddenly thought of Da Zhuang. It took 4 days to get the 7th and 8th grade experience after leaving the cave, 1 day to grab the blood Ganoderma, 7 days to advance, yesterday and today. This time he came out directly for 14 days. Da Zhuang didn't starve to death. Lu Qing returned to the front of the cave and moved the huge rock at the entrance. At this time, Da Zhuang was lying on the ground, looking at him with resentment in his big eyes. Brother, no, Dad, dear Dad, have you forgotten me? You left food for me, but it's all stinky, and all the energy has turned into maggots. Although maggots are also delicious, and I need water. Do you know how I have been living these days? I didn't even waste my urine. Paw! The corpse of the rabbit was thrown out. Dazwang's resentment instantly turned into surprise. 9th rank. Boss, no, my dear father, you can even hunt 9th rank exotic beasts. Invincible, invincible. Tell me, have you reached 9th rank now? Lu Qing shook his blade, not 9th rank, but 2nd rank, 1st rank. Dazwang's body trembled. It knew that the boss was promoted quickly, but it didn't expect it to be so fast. 2nd rank. An existence that I dare not dream of. Lu Qing turned around and transmitted his voice. I'm going to the peach forest to take care of something. Dazhuang said excitedly. Understood, kill the master of the peach forest. The white-minded monkey and a group of soldier bees were in the tree hole. A large number of treetop fruits were piled up on the edge of the tree hole. In the center, there was a stone pit with a diameter of about 1 meter. The pit was deep and dark, and nothing could be seen. The white-witted monkey took a bite of the treetop fruit, showing a very enjoyable look. It waved its hand at the bee commander. Throw it down. Several fleshworms were thrown into the hole. After a few seconds, there was a sound in the originally quiet pit. Then a roar came out. The largest white-witted monkey shook his head slightly. It is worthy of being a 2nd-level existence. It ate so many paralysis insects, but nothing happened. The paralysis insect is a 4th-grade insect. It is not strong, but it contains toxins. After eating it, it will be paralyzed and unable to move at the lightest, and it will be directly fatal if you eat more. Another white-wise monkey seemed a little worried. What should we do next? This cripple is trapped in the cave. Fire, flooding, and poison can't kill him. We dare not go down. What should we do? About 20 years ago, there was only a small area of peach trees here, which was also the paradise for the 3 of them. But one day a powerful white ape came and occupied this place. The 3 of them were reluctant to leave their home, so they had to succumb to the powerful strength of the white ape. The white ape claimed to be the master of the peach forest, enslaving the 3 white-wise monkeys as laborers to start breeding peach forests. Until 2 years later, a big battle took place. They did not witness the process of the battle while planting trees, but when they came back, the white ape was seriously injured. Its body was cut in 2, and its head was severely injured, and 1 arm was broken. It was extremely miserable. Because of its strong vitality, the white ape actually struggled to crawl into the tree hole. Just when they were about to go forward to finish off the white ape, it fell into the cave. So they planned to wait until the white ape was completely dead before killing it. After all, it was a 2nd-level existence, so they set their sights on the lower half of the white ape. When they found it, they discovered that a blood Ganoderma seedling had grown on the lower half of the body. The effect of the blood Ganoderma seedling is much greater than that of the white ape's body. As long as half of a mature blood Ganoderma can help them reach the 2nd level. The 3 white-wise monkeys were ecstatic. But then, they found that the white ape was not dead, but had completely lost its mind due to a severe head injury. Every day, it would roar in the cave and throw boulders. The queen bee living in the tree also found the blood Ganoderma, and it began to cooperate with the white-wise monkey in search of a breakthrough. Over a decade, the peach forest flourished, and various powerful creatures also came here. In order to suppress them, the 3 white-wise monkeys and the queen bee moved out the Lord of the Peach Forest to deter them. After all, it was a 2nd-level existence. Even if it never showed up, it only relied on the occasional roar to make all the creatures that came here submit to the tyranny of the Lord of the Peach Forest. There has never been any trouble in all these years. In just over 10 days, the blood Ganoderma will be fully mature, and they can advance to the secondary stage, completely control the entire peach forest, and become the true master of the peach forest. But at this juncture, an unexpected accident occurred. The mantis picked the fruit they were guarding and fled. Helplessly, in order to advance to the secondary stage, they could only take risks and choose to kill the disabled master of the peach forest, and use its flesh and blood to seek a breakthrough. In order to kill the white ape in the safest way, they tried many ways. Fire, flooding, poisoning, etc. There are undercurrents and water sources in the cave, and with the powerful strength of the master of the peach forest, there is almost no way to succeed. Hey, this white ape is so powerful, it seems that we can't think of advancing in a short time. The queen bee's voice transmission followed. Don't study it. There is an outside intruder. The 3 white-wise monkeys immediately cheered up. The queen bee can pass on the message, which means that this intruder may be extraordinary. Sure enough, the queen bee's voice came again. The intruder's mental state feels familiar, that mantis. Ah, the three white wise monkeys were stunned. That mantis, which one? It must be the one that stole their blood Ganoderma. The older white wise monkey immediately asked, "Are you sure?" "Of course I'm sure." The queen bee's gentle voice was filled with murderous intent. "It stole our blood Ganoderma, and I will never make a mistake in his mental state. It's him." The three white wise monkeys looked at each other. Their eyes were shining with surprise. That mantis actually dared to come back. Originally, they were still worried about not being able to kill the white ape. Unexpectedly, the mantis took the initiative to deliver it to their door at this time. One of them asked cautiously, "Now that the mantis has returned, is there a possibility of promotion?" The older white wise monkey shook his head. "No. It's been less than 10 days since he snatched it away. The blood Ganoderma contains a lot of energy. Not to mention 10 days, even 10 months can't completely absorb the energy. What's more, the Zerg from low level to secondary level has a cocoon remodeling process. This process will completely transform the Zerg body, and it takes at least several months. So this mantis can't reach the secondary level at all." What it said makes a lot of sense. So the queen bee and other white wise monkeys all believed it. "Can we lock its position? This time we must take back the remaining blood Ganoderma, and then tear it into pieces. We must not let it run away." The queen bee's voice transmission came again. "Still can't lock it, but I feel like he seems to be coming in our direction. Come this way. Send to the door. Ha ha ha, so stupid. Not only dare to return to the peach forest, but also dare to come here. It's simply courting death." The older white wise monkey shook his head slightly. It felt something was wrong. From the previous performance, this mantis should not be so reckless and foolish. At this moment, a large group of soldier bees flew over. The queen bee immediately sent a message, "In order to be foolproof, I will summon all the soldier bees and unite with you. I don't believe that I can't leave a mere mantis." Lu Qing landed steadily on the ground. The big peach tree is in front of him, and the huge tree hole can be clearly seen. There were a few lazy king bees hovering in the air, and they seemed to be on low alert. Lu Qing laughed in his heart. The queen bee and the monkeys were planning to lure him into the hinterland and surround him. "Well, I'll let you do as you wish." Lu Qing came to the tree hole of the giant peach tree slowly. Seeing that the mantis had fallen into the trap, three white wise monkeys immediately swung down from 3 directions. A large number of soldier bees and commanders completely occupied the entire space. There were also several 8th grade among these soldier bees and commanders. It seems that they came out in full force this time. The smallest white wise monkey bared his teeth, but his voice transmission was extremely arrogant. "Ha ha ha, what a brainless species, not only dare to come back, but also dare to come here. Isn't this courting death?" The other one also felt that the overall situation was in control, and teased, "Oh, you dyed it. What, do you think we won't recognize you if you change the color?" Dyed, natural. If it was before, Lu Qing might be interested in these monkey brains, but now the 9th grade is no longer an experience pack. So Lu Qing has no desire to brush them off, unless they are offered to him. His blade foot stretched out, and the sharp tip of the blade swept around. "Tell me the secret of the Lord of the Peach Forest, and I will spare your lives." "Spare us lives. This is really the funniest joke in the world. Have you, a low-intelligence species, not figured out the current situation? You don't think that you, a 9th grade mantis, can really fight against the 3 of us 9th grade? This smallest white smart monkey is so talkative that it is full of ridicule. Does it think it has a guaranteed victory? Okay, I'll do the surgery on you." Lu Qing pointed his sword at the white smart monkey. "You talk too much nonsense, so you have to die." "Am I going to die? Ha ha ha, I think you don't understand the current situation at all." Lu Qing didn't wait for the other party to finish speaking before he used the skill directly. An afterimage passed by. The white smart monkey just felt that there was danger, but before he could figure out where the danger came from, he felt a chill in his heart. When he looked down, he saw that there was a transparent hole in his heart, and blood was spurting out. Standing next to him was the mantis he had just mocked. Its powerful vitality prevents it from dying immediately even if its heart is pierced. It fell to the ground with fear on its face. Although his strength is lower than that of his peers, he is still at the 9th level. And responsive, but now he was hit directly without even a moment to react. This can only achieve this effect if it is too much stronger than oneself, that is to say. Second level. Only the 2nd level can have such strong strength. Lu Qing was not in the habit of explaining to dead things, so he raised his sword foot and killed it with one strike. Little brother. The remaining 2 white smart monkeys were almost losing their minds. They are biological brothers and have never been separated from birth to this day. But now he died tragically at the hands of a mantis. This makes them neither hateful nor angry. If they weren't frightened by Lu Qing's strength, they would have rushed over to take revenge now. Lu Qing turned around and shook the blood from his knife foot. There are 2 ways, either cooperate or all die. Including the queen bee and your nest. The queen bee panicked instantly. The nest is its lifeblood. We will definitely cooperate. After the queen bee agreed, she did not forget to advise the Bai Zhiling monkey, you must also cooperate. After all, he is the 2nd level and cannot be competed by us. Life is more important than anything else. Bai Zhiling monkey knows the principle of forbearance. Now that the enemy is so powerful, they have no chance of winning even if they want to take revenge. If you want to save your life, cooperation is the only way out. Okay, let's cooperate. Lu Qing stared at the 2 white smart monkeys with his triangular head, and then asked everything about the Lord of the Peach Forest. He was happy when he learned that the Lord of the Peach Grove was disabled and trapped in the cave. Isn't that an experience pack waiting for you to earn it? Nowadays, species with low-level strength no longer provide experience, and low-level cripples are definitely a good target. Bai Zhiling monkey lowered his head, with hatred hidden in his eyes. We have told you everything you want to know. Can the 2 of us leave now? Lu Qing waved his sword indifferently. Let's go. I'll let you go this time. I won't be polite next time we meet. After saying that, he turned his back. The 2 white-minded monkeys breathed a sigh of relief. This mantis is indeed a species of imbecile. In the jungle, you don't even understand the principle of eradicating the weeds. Fortunately, I know it doesn't understand. Leave. Only by leaving can you have a chance to break through the 2nd level, strengthen your own strength, and seek revenge on this mantis. The next time we meet, it will be the time when 2 powerful white wise monkeys seek revenge on you. After they looked at each other, they prepared to jump to the branches. But at this moment, the mantis, who had turned his back, turned around. Hey, we meet again so soon. Ah, the 2 monkeys were obviously stunned. Turning around as the 2nd meeting. Nothing seems wrong. No, is this how you play? Pooh. The elder Bai Zhiling monkey came back to his senses and said, You are not trustworthy. You said you would let us go as long as we cooperate. Lu Qing nodded his triangular head. I did say that, but I also said that we won't be polite the next time we meet. I didn't expect that it would be our next time so soon. Didn't expect that. Are you lying to the big fool? Judging from your skillful turning movements, it is obvious that you have been planning this for a long time. I thought this was a retarded insect race, but I didn't expect Wawa's intestines to be more numerous than those white intelligent monkeys. This little routine was completely beyond their imagination. The queen bee was dumbfounded. Ah, is this the next time we meet? It turns out that routines can still be played like this. It's really a great experience. Will Mantis, who is so unruly, have to run away too? Just forget it. The beehive is in the tree, and years of accumulation are also in the tree. Where can I go? Bai Zhiling monkey almost collapsed. You have no credibility. You don't follow martial ethics. Lu Qing waved his sword indifferently. Whatever you say, since we are meeting again, you 2 are dead. After speaking, he showed 2 big knives. Praying mantises are unreliable and even want to kill you. The only thing they can do is run away. Escape. Just when the older one was taking off, it suddenly felt light. Then it saw its headless body. The hand of another white smart monkey has already grasped the branch. Suddenly he saw a flash of red, and then he fell to the ground involuntarily. And there were 2 monkey paws hanging on the branch. Not only that, he also saw his elder brother whose head was missing. You have no credibility. Lu Qing chopped off the monkey's head with one knife. Credit? Why do you need credit? Loans. This is a jungle, and staying alive is the first priority. I won't let the monkey go back to the mountains. After saying that, he kicked the monkey's head away. Then he looked at the hive. Queen bee, it's your turn. The fat body of the queen bee in the nest trembled. This mantis is too cruel. It seems that he can't escape. It pressed its fat body on the 5 larvae. Some of these larvae are the next queen bee it has selected to cultivate, and some are the most powerful soldier bee larvae with the greatest potential. If he dies, he will die. As long as the next queen bee does not die and the most promising soldier bees do not die, the bee colony will not perish, and there is even a possibility of prosperity again. Just when it had hidden the larva, the hive was pierced by the knife foot. With a gentle scratch, the opening cracked into a door. Lu Qing walked in. He took a look at the queen bee. Fat, really fat. Because it is too fat, both wings have become mini versions. This body size is almost the same as the queen ant. It is worthy of being a breeding machine. Race, powerful queen bee. Strength, low level 9th grade. Introduction. Queen bee has strong mental power and strong perception, and as a breeding female, she rules the entire bee colony. Single quote. The queen bee's fat body is tightly attached to the bottom. We powerful bees never hold grudges. Lu Qing hummed, it doesn't matter, just kill them all, no matter if you hold a grudge or not. It seems that he can't escape death. Once he dies, the hidden larva will also be exposed. We should give the larva a chance to live. The queen bee turned her fat body aside. I can die, but can you let these poor larvae go? Lu Qing retracted his knife foot. Don't worry, Lu's big knife will not kill the old or the young. Don't kill the old or the young. I'm already old, a real old queen bee. The queen bee instantly felt that their king bees had hope for the future. Great. Actually, I'm already 26 years old. Among our king bees, I'm already old, otherwise I wouldn't be able to breed larvae. In order to verify her words, the queen bee lifted her fat buttocks. See, it's all wrinkled, and it's all sterilized. If the queen bee is sterilized, it means she's really old. Lu Qing took a look and nodded his triangular head. It seems that she is indeed old. The queen bee was ecstatic. Then does what you said before still count? What? The queen bee twisted her fat body. You just came in and said that your sword doesn't kill the old or the young. Of course it counts. Mr. Lu always keeps his word. It counts. The queen bee was even happier. I'm old, and the larvae are only a few months old, so are we safe? The next moment, the queen bee couldn't laugh anymore. Because Lu Qing raised his secondary legs. The tip of the secondary legs is a knife, and the hardness and sharpness of the knife are no less than that of the knife legs. Sorry, Lu has 6 more knives. The queen bee was immediately numb. Ah, 6 knives. So you don't use a big knife to cut the old and the young, so use a small knife to cut. Wotema knew that you, a mantis, had a lot of tricks. Routine, all routines. The queen bee's voice was full of madness. You are kidding me. I really thought you had a change of heart, but it turned out to be a despicable routine. Bah, you have no credibility. A mantis like you is not even as good as a meatworm. Lu Qing's secondary legs moved, and the larva died directly. Look, you kept your promise. Quote. The queen bee didn't even want to struggle. The fat body collapsed on the ground. Lu Qing sent it to the west with a knife. The 9th grade queen bee was still useless. After pushing its corpse away, the royal jelly behind it was exposed. After taking a bite, I found that this thing could not provide experience except for being sweet. Other things were useless. Lu Qing left the hive. The soldier bees outside were no longer under the control of the queen bee, and all fell into a frenzy, fighting each other with their stingers. Lu Qing spread his wings and landed in front of the tree hole. Everything else was done, and next he would naturally see if the Lord of the Peach Forest could provide experience. Lu Qing came to the cave. Coincidentally, at this moment, a roar was heard. Then a huge rock was thrown out. Lu Qing's knife foot shook, and the sharp knife foot cut the huge rock like cutting tofu. Then he jumped into the cave. The cave was dark, but his strength was not affected at all. While falling, he saw a strange-looking monster. The Lord of the Peach Forest was a big white ape. But now half of its face was cut off, its left arm was empty, and there was nothing below its waist. Even though it was disabled, its body still reached about 3 meters. If it was healthy, it would probably be 5 meters tall. Its white hair looked particularly bright in the water-filled area, its single eye was red, its fangs were white, its saliva was smelly, its body was covered with scars, and its face was ferocious. You could tell from its crazy state that it was in such a state. Lu Qing immediately called up the information. Race: white ape. Strength: secondary grade 4, wounded, decayed to secondary grade 1. Talent: frenzy, gained strength bonus when falling into frenzy. Introduction: it has a strong body and infinite power, and can use external objects to launch attacks and defenses. Single quote. Secondary grade 4. Lu Qing shouted that he had made a profit. There is an experience bonus for surpassing your own grade. This white ape has the strength of a second grade 4, but because it was seriously injured, its true strength can only be exerted to the first grade. In other words, you can get a lot of experience by taking a lower risk. And the completely crazy state is even easier to deal with. This is the Advanced Experience Pack. Mantis. The white ape's voice transmission was intermittent, but it could still be heard clearly. It seemed to have a great hatred for the mantis race. After the voice transmission was interrupted, the white ape roared again, and its single eye turned completely blood red, and the white hair on its body also turned blood red instantly. Going crazy right away. What a hatred. The white ape, which was in a frenzy, no longer had any reason. Its single arm directly pulled down a stone and threw it at the falling Lu Qing. Even with a single arm, it still had extremely strong strength and attack power. The boulder came with a strong wind. Although the opponent was a cripple, Lu Qing was not careless at all. He directly used the skill, blood shadow flying, and forced displacement to the wall of the cave in an instant. The boulder whizzed past and flew out of the cave. Lu Qing then used the attack skill, blood shadow residual strike. Blood shadow strike has a 50% attack bonus, plus his ghostly speed. This time he can be said to have used all his strength. The blade foot went straight to the opponent's head. The violent white ape met the flying blade foot with one hand. The hand, which was like a bedboard, was directly pierced by the blade foot. However, because the bones of the actual 4th grade white ape were too hard, the blade foot was stuck in the bone gap. That is to say, the white ape only has one hand, otherwise it would have suffered a lot. Lu Qing directly raised another blade foot and stabbed it at the one-eyed man. If this hits, the white ape is basically dead. Although it was violent, it also knew what was fatal danger. The big hand immediately swung wildly. The powerful force made Lu Qing's knife foot stuck in the bone break out. He was also thrown out and hit the cave wall. Lu Qing spread his wings without panic, and after a slight adjustment, he landed lightly on the ground. The one-armed, immobile white ape was so strong. Powerful strength, hard bones. All these made Lu Qing have a new understanding of grade suppression. It is worthy of being a violent talent. Talent, I also have it. The silver line on the knife foot quickly spread to the whole body, and then the blood red of the body instantly turned black, completely blending with the surrounding environment. Hide. Once the talent is used, it can not only change the color of the body, but also hide the breath. The violent white ape immediately lost its target. It roared, supported with one arm, and the whole body flew into the air, and then the huge fist smashed towards the place where Lu Qing disappeared. With a bang, gravel splashed. Without hitting the target, the crazy white ape picked up a stone and threw it in a random direction. For a moment, the rubble flew everywhere. Lu Qing pulled away, silently changing places, waiting for the best opportunity. The white ape smashed everywhere frantically, splashing water and rubble flying everywhere, and roaring throughout the cave. After a few minutes, the white ape took a breath. Its originally blood-red single eye began to fade, and it seemed to have regained some rationality. Lu Qing in the dark couldn't help but feel happy. The frenzy has a time limit. Mantis, Mantis, die. The roar sounded again. It landed on the rubble with one arm as a support, and while the single eye was observing, the palm had already grasped the rubble. However, it didn't know that Lu Qing was behind it. Opportunity. The opportunity came, and Lu Qing activated his skills without hesitation. Although there was only a short distance of 2 meters between them, in order to achieve the effect of a one-hit kill, Lu Qing directly used both skills. The knife foot attacked instantly, and a residual image pierced the back of the white ape's head fiercely. With the blessing of the dual skills, the speed was extremely fast, so fast that although the white ape had a sense, its body after, violent, could not keep up at all. Lu Qing's knife foot fiercely pierced into the back of the white ape's head. However, the skull of the white ape was too hard, and the powerful knife foot only went in an inch. This depth was not fatal. After failing to hit the target, Lu Qing activated his talent again and hid his body. The white ape rotated with one arm, but saw nothing. Its big fist hit the wall of the cave again, but as expected, it hit nothing again. Just as he was about to open his mouth to roar again, the knife foot appeared in front of him. The knife foot pierced directly into his mouth and penetrated through the back of his head. No matter how strong it was, this half of its face was cut open, and there was a hole in the back of its head. Lu Qing took advantage of the situation and stabbed its abdomen with his other blade. After the two blades were pulled out, blood gushed out, and the white ape fell from the rubble. Despite such a severe injury, the white ape did not die, and even staggered to stand up again with one hand. But the injured brain made it unable to control even the basic balance. The white ape fell to the ground, and the roar in its mouth gradually became lower. Mantis, Mantis. Lu Qing did not rush over, he stared at the other party. Maybe the blow to the back of the head stimulated it, and the white ape's eyes seemed to be clearer, no longer as irritable as before. It raised its palm weakly, with an inexplicable look in its eyes. It's actually a male mantis. Ha ha, the mantis queen is in the west, go, go. That's your paradise, you Zerg, wait for death. After a few inexplicable words, the white ape's palm fell and it was completely out of breath. The white ape has strong vitality, so it's always better to be careful. After Lu Qing approached, he poked the other party with the tip of his blade. He found that he had no reaction at all, so he stepped forward. The inexplicable words just now, Lu Qing understood were the words, the mantis queen is in the west, heaven. But it's not important at the moment. Such a big super experience pack, the most important thing is to get rid of it. Lu Qing took a bite. The prompt sound made him instantly happy. Get flesh and blood value plus 1 foot. Oh my god, it's actually 1 point. You know, the same level can only give 0.1 points of experience at most. This second level 4th grade white ape has doubled tenfold. It's worthy of being a level jump. It's a big profit. Lu Qing feasted, and his experience rose. Less than a quarter, the experience slot is full. When Lu Qing was about to upgrade, he stopped. After upgrading, he was a second level 2nd grade, and the experience of the 4th grade white ape would definitely decrease. It was harmless before, after all, the level jump was not much. But this time is different. 1/4 can fill up the experience slot, can the remaining allow me to reach the next level? If I upgrade now, 3/4 of the experience pack will be wasted. Lu Qing chose no, and then continued to brush this super experience pack. Get flesh and blood value plus 1 foot. Sure enough, there is no decay, and it can continue to store. Then there is nothing to worry about. He turned on the crazy brushing mode. Get flesh and blood value plus 1 foot. Get flesh and blood value plus 1 foot. The whole white ape has completely become experience, and the extra ones have been stored. Because it is not displayed, Lu Qing does not know how much there is, whether it is enough to upgrade to the 3rd grade. Call up the interface and choose to upgrade. Do you choose to upgrade? Single quote. Yes. Then the energy gradually spread throughout the body. After a warm and comfortable feeling, it has been upgraded to the 2nd grade of the 2nd stage. Lu Qing gave up the idea of checking the attributes. Whether it can be upgraded to the 3rd grade is the key. He glanced at the panel and found that the experience slot was full, so he was relieved. Continue. Energy accumulation is complete. Do you want to upgrade? Single quote. Yes. The energy spread throughout the body again, and it was the same warm and comfortable feeling. The only difference was that the time was slightly longer this time. After completing the upgrade, Lu Qing suddenly found that the cave that was extremely spacious just now seemed to be smaller now. It should be that his body size has increased again. It feels that it should have reached a height of 2 meters and 5. In addition to becoming larger, the black blade foot is also thicker and more obvious with silver-white texture, and more mysterious. The secondary foot has not changed much, the toe dagger is sharper, and there are many more barbs. The body color is the biggest change. The red is more intense, and it looks like a layer of blood covering the surface of the body. Lu Qing opened the panel. Race: Bloodthorn Mantis. Level: Secondary 3rd grade, 537 3/1000. Skills: Bloodthorn Crushing, Attack Power Bonus plus 70% evolvable. Blood Shadow Flying evolvable. Talent: Stealth. Offensive skills have been enhanced again, and flying skills have not changed much. After checking the status, Lu Qing flapped his wings and flew to the cave entrance. After coming out, he strung together the 3 bodies of the white-witted monkeys in the tree hole. There were some creatures crowded outside, staring at him with wide eyes. After seeing that it was Lu Qing who came out, these creatures immediately retreated a distance. A cautious voice transmission sounded, "Where is the Lord of the Peach Forest?" The question was from a 6th grade stinging insect. "The Lord of the Peach Forest is dead, and you can live and reproduce here with peace of mind from now on." Upon hearing that the Lord of the Peach Forest was dead, these creatures immediately cheered. Every month, they had to provide a tree-tip fruit. If they couldn't find it, they would be dead. After so many years of worrying, they finally got through it. They thought that the Lord of the Peach Forest had ruled them for so many years, but they didn't know that the real rulers were the 3 white wise monkeys and the queen bee. Lu Qing was not interested in explaining anything to them. "Why don't you be the Lord of our Peach Forest? With you in charge, we can develop and reproduce here with peace of mind." As soon as this proposal came out, it immediately gained the support of many creatures. The Peach Forest is a good place, and a good place needs a strong person to be in charge. The most important thing is that this mantis is not interested in these low-quality species, and has no habit of eating peaches, so it will not enslave them. However, Lu Qing obviously has no interest, and has already flapped his wings and flew to the treetops. The Peach Forest is definitely a pleasant place. But he needs to upgrade, and needs to constantly replenish energy to climb higher mountains. Naturally, he will not stay here and be the master of the Peach Forest of Lao Shenzi. No interest. In addition, the beehive is a restricted area, and any creature that breaks in will be wiped out. After the voice transmission, he flapped his wings and flew into the air. A group of low-quality creatures watched Lu Qing leave. After a while, they walked carefully towards the tree hole. The corpses of the 9th grade white wise monkeys are useless if they can't generate experience, but it's a bargain for Da Zhuang. When Da Zhuang saw the 3 corpses of white wise monkeys, his eyes almost lit up. "Awesome, I didn't expect you to deal with all 3 white wise monkeys. Where is the Lord of the Peach Forest? Is it the big white ape? Is it powerful? How did you deal with it, boss?" Lu Qing didn't talk nonsense with him, and directly ordered, "Here are the corpses of 3 white wise monkeys, and there is a lot of royal jelly over there in the beehive. These things are enough to improve your strength to the low-level 9th grade. "Thank you, boss." Da Zhuang was grateful. Lu Qing had already come out of the cave. "You're welcome. Next, I will go deep into the dangerous area. Your promotion speed is too slow. It will be very dangerous to follow me." He has his own system, upgrades quickly, and both his talents and skills are very suitable for being alone, and he belongs to the ranks of killers. The most important thing is that the gap between his and Da Zhuang's grades is getting bigger and bigger. After breaking into a dangerous place, once he encounters a strong enemy, he can't take care of the other party at all. So Lu Qing decided to let Da Zhuang settle down in Taolin. The dangerous factors in Taolin have been eliminated, and there are almost no high-quality species. After Da Zhuang reaches the 9th grade, he will definitely be the strongest in this area. Da Zhuang was originally thinking about which one to eat first with a smile. But he realized something was wrong as he listened. "Not the boss, you want to abandon me. Lu Qing. You just get rid of me when you are tired of playing, you are a playboy." It was still aggrieved. Lu Qing said helplessly, "You didn't waste the words I taught you and used them on me, right?" After crossing the mountains in the west is a grassland full of strong people. There are huge dangers everywhere. Not to mention you, a low-level 1, even a second-level 1 like me may not be able to survive safely. Da Zhuang climbed a few steps to him, "Then let's stay in Taolin and rule Taolin together. This way, we will be safe and have food security. Eating and drinking enough can survive, but it will not make Lu Qing continue to be strong." Lu Qing doesn't want to waste the function of the system. Gently shook his head, how can a sparrow know the ambition of a swan? Ah, what do you mean? What rank is a sparrow? He was immediately at a loss for words. This guy is a stubborn person, just put it another way. I will return to the peach forest in a while, just wait for me. After saying this, Dazhuang was really happy. That's right, boss, I'll wait for you to come back and we brothers will do big things. Lu Qing came out of the cave and flapped his wings to fly into the sky. Mountains are high and rivers are long, see you later. Waiting for you. Lu Qing didn't look back, and after climbing to a certain height, he began to glide. Dazhuang watched Lu Qing's figure gradually disappear, shook his triangular head, hey, I'm still too weak. Although I have been eating and advancing desperately during this period, compared with the boss's promotion speed, I am a scum. It's good that the boss is gone, then I will rely on my own efforts to break through. It sharpened its knife feet. Now, try the 9th grade meat first. Lu Qing flew to the southwest. Just as the information he had found out, after passing through the peach forest, there was a large stretch of mountains. The mountains were very wide. Even at Lu Qing's current speed, it would take more than 10 days to cross them. Originally, he planned to fight his way through and gain some experience points. But he soon discovered that most of the creatures living in the mountains were animals, while insects lived at the bottom of the food chain in this area. The most important thing was that there were almost no secondary creatures in the entire mountain range, whether animals or insects. This was very uncomfortable. Lu Qing had no interest in low-quality species, so he could only rush on. It was already evening 10 days later when he reached the edge of the other side of the mountains. At the edge of this forest, there was thick fog in the evening and morning. Thick fog was not conducive to flying. Lu Qing landed on an ancient tree and prepared to continue his journey after spending the night. The cool breeze at night blew, and Lu Qing comfortably adjusted a comfortable posture on the treetop. Not long after, a voice transmission reached him. Have you heard? Something big happened in the grassland recently. Many Zergs started fighting each other. Really? Is it true? Of course it's true. I caught a golden armored longhorn beetle in the grassland today. I forced it out, it must be true. Lu Qing raised his head and looked over after hearing the voice transmission. On an ancient tree not far away, 2 7-feathered chickens were chatting. Race: 7-feathered chicken. Strength: low level 9th grade. It seems that these two cons have been to the grassland, and they are a good target to understand the grassland situation. Awesome. The grassland is almost occupied by the Zerg, and you dare to go there. Aren't you afraid of being eaten by the Zerg? Another 7-feathered chicken puffed out its chest, looking extremely proud. What are you afraid of? We are born to eat insects. No matter how powerful the Zerg are, they are still our meals. After bragging, his breath softened. In fact, as long as you don't go too deep, there will be no problem. The insects on this side of the mountains are hard to find and of low grade, but the ones on the grassland are very delicious. Tomorrow I can take you there to see the world. Okay. Why do I seem to hear something? Did you hear it? Don't be suspicious. Our strength is awesome around us. Who dares? Oh my god. The 7-feathered chickens suddenly found a shadow next to them. This shadow was originally integrated with the night, but now it gradually appeared and was discovered by them. After seeing it clearly, the two cons were almost scared. It was a mantis with a terrifying sword. The breath released was clearly a second level one. Oh my god, a second level boss. Lu Qing, don't move, otherwise you will eat chicken nuggets. The two cons dared not move at all. Lu Qing's eyes fell on one of the 7-feathered chickens. Have you been to the grassland? Yes. Tell me the basic situation of the grassland, and you can leave safely after that. The 7-feathered chicken was stunned for a moment. What do you want to know? Lu Qing was also helpless. Kun's IQ was not online, so he could only ask one by one. How big is the grassland? Kun twisted his neck and looked confused. You are a mantis, you are not from the grassland. Nima, am I asking you or you asking me? Lu Qing showed the sharp blade. Don't talk nonsense, just answer the question. Kun immediately said honestly, it's very big, you can't see the edge at a glance. You can't see the edge when it flies. It's like asking nothing. A low-level 9th grade creature doesn't have the strength to cross the grassland. Lu Qing began to ask more practical questions. What is the strongest species on the grassland? Kuhn answered straightforwardly this time, Zerg. The whole grassland is full of Zerg. There are no animals at all, and even if there are, they will soon become the food of the Zerg. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.